You're listening to the We Are Libertarians Podcast Network. Find all of our shows at wearelibertarians.com.
This is bonus content for the Boss Hog of Liberty. Jeremiah Morrill and Dakota Davis joined Justin and the rest of the gang on the Juice in the Morning podcast. You can find them on Facebook, on iTunes. Look for Juice in the Morning. They're another Indianapolis-based podcast. Their group will be joining us at the end of December, but for now, enjoy us appearing on their show.
Juice! Juice in the morning! Juice in the morning! Juice in the morning! Juice in the morning!
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Juice in the Morning. I'm your host, Justin Juice Kelly. With me today, and he got cut off at B-Dubs earlier, is Shane Jones. How are you doing today?
What's up, man? Still hammered from B-Dubs.
We're going to get into that story, but right next to him is Johnny Boughton, back again. How are you doing today? You still got a finger?
Yeah, man, still got it. Doing well. For the 2K fan, this is your Uncle Jedi, by the way.
It looks a lot better than it did.
Oh, yeah,
but
absolutely.
It still looks disgusting.
I had a young kid at work the other day. He was like, man, I bet your finger smells like dead people. And I was just like, one, that breaks my heart. But two, why would you even think about smelling my finger?
And that's disgusting. But also left of him, or I guess right of him, left to me, is Jeremiah Morrill of the Boss Hog of Liberty. How are you doing today?
Doing awesome, man. Great. Glad to be here.
I appreciate you guys taking the time to come out here. And then also with him is his co-host of the Boss Hog of Liberty, Dakota Davis.
Hey, how's it going?
Sorry about the mics, guys. I apologize. We tried to come up with something to fix it, and it just it didn't work. I've kind of just thrown everything together here.
We come as a team, so it's This is I like being close to Dakota. He hates it to me, so this is the greatest thing ever. It's a hostage situation he always cried about.
Yeah. Does he have do you have like issues with like touching people?
No, I'm not that quite that screechy, but it's like, I like having my space, but so maybe it is. I do have like a touch issue. Like we just recently moved into a new house, my wife and I, and we got a king size bed, upgraded from a queen size bed.
That's one of the best feelings of all time.
Oh, it's like it changed my life.
I swear to God, because my wife and I, we're not small people, and we. For the last 2 or 3 years before we got our king size bed, we were sleeping in a full size bed. Like it's like the step below the queen size.
Oh no!
So we were both squeezing in there, and we have 2 dogs. So it was a very frustrating situation. But you guys are the Boss Hog of Liberty. Tell us where that started, just like what you guys talk about, because we're going to have some listeners, I'm assuming, from you guys, so they'll know already, but a lot of our listeners probably don't know about the Boss Hog of Liberty, so kind of tell us how that started.
Yeah, so we call ourselves East Central Indiana's favorite podcast. We're based in Henry County, Newcastle area. We're on the Weird Libertarians Network. So about 2 years ago, coming up on 2 years ago, I had been talking to Chris Spangle, and I got my feedback loop going again. All right.
Amateur move.
I was talking to Spangle about, who I think has been on the show as well.
Yeah, Spangle is a friend of the show.
Yeah, and talking about trying to start some sort of a podcast, and they were...
Okay, guys. Come on.
Oh, man. Just rank amateurs around here.
He just puts his phone down.
I love that you looked at me.
I thought it was you again. All right.
I'm about to start a live stream over here just to get myself in trouble.
I'm embarrassed.
No. So about 2 years ago, I was trying to come up with an idea for a podcast, and based on geography, Dakota became my co-host. And I talked to Riddle about it, and Jesse. He was on
here last week.
Had a few beers with him last night.
Yeah, and Jesse was Jesse was too cheap to go halvesies with me, but Dakota had no problem at all spending $75 on a side recorder, and that was the start of a beautiful hostage situation where he's been my co-host.
Yeah.
Was Jesse's response, I need to flip 1,700 keyboards.
I've got to
sell a couple used shoes. I'll see what I got.
I just got to go mine the Goodwill for some calculator cases. And if I sell enough of those, maybe I could maybe make the money by April. I don't know, man.
Well, Spangle's been like a huge help to this show. He was on our show, and then we talked for probably 35, 45 minutes after the show, just talking about podcasting in general. So he's probably a great resource for you guys to have, like, just to pick his brain and ask him, like, what kind of like moves do we need to make? Because the We Are Libertarians Facebook page is like, huge.
Oh yeah, they've got the power of the Facebook page.
87,000 likes, I think, on there. So yeah,
That's
he's been
insane.
a great resource. Because the studio used to be in my spare bedroom at my house for a while, and so whenever I was like, oh, we need some audio upgrades, it was like, hey Chris, hop on FaceTime, like, I'm going to show you my board, you show me where to plug things in at.
Yeah, he's been really helpful. We even enjoyed going on to his podcast and talking about, current events and politics and things like that, because, we're I would say, not the top half of the intelligence when it comes to politics.
If I ever want to go somewhere to feel like a complete idiot, I know where to go. Like, if I want to feel like an idiot today, I know I'll just call him up, go over, be on his podcast.
So do you guys agree, or are you guys on the same page as him politically, that kind of thing? Because I know it's the We Are Libertarian Network. So how does that go for you guys?
Pretty close. We're both involved locally in the Libertarian Party. I'm the chairman, and Jeremiah's the vice chairman. He just ran a campaign during 2018 for county council in Henry County. But yeah, so we're pretty close to Chris. I still have disagreements with him because he's a butthead. So.
I can see that.
I don't think you can find two libertarians that agree on anything, let alone an entire party.
Any party, I feel like it's hard to get people to agree on anything, let alone, in the same party. But also at the same time, we have a few, like my little brother and sister listen, so they have some friends from that are in high school. And this is kind of something that I thought of right before you guys got here. If you were to talk to somebody younger, what would you kind of give them an idea of the Libertarian Party? And also, what would you tell them to, because I feel like it's very important that those people get involved in that kind of stuff, because I'm not doing it, so I need at least the people behind me in age group to they need to have a good idea of what's going on in the world. So what would you tell them?
I usually tell people, whenever they ask about the Libertarian Party, I'm like, the Libertarian Party is a philosophy of you can be as liberal or as conservative as you want to be, as long as you don't try to force your neighbors into being that way as well. And
I think that works for just normal everyday life as well.
I think that's how it should work. You hear from the left and right, we want you to do this, or we don't, or we just automatically hate you. And here it's you can do what you want, just don't force other people to try to think the same way.
Right.
But yeah.
So would you suggest that they're how would you suggest they get involved, not just with the Libertarian Party, but just in general?
Show up to meetings, just go to local board meetings and see how the processes work, see how things flow through. You can, if you're a high school student, then you can reach out to almost anybody in any level of government.
Yeah, there's a lot of open doors.
Yeah, and they're going to be like, oh yeah, a young person is interested. Here, let me talk to you.
Yeah.
So people in politics are usually really excited to hear from young people.
Right. And I know my little sister has done some stuff, but I'm not sure. She's gone to the city council building and gone and shadowed people and stuff like that. So it's a pretty interesting thing. But on a different note, we like to kind of talk about random things on this podcast, news stories, things like that. And something that Johnny's actually taken on and done a really good job with the Facebook page is a lot of these versus battles. It started out with just action heroes and who you would if you pitted them against each other, who would win, doing a lot of polls. So I can pull those up, and I just want to run through a few and get your guys' opinions on some of the results and things like that. So Johnny, what made you think of that in the first place while I pull this up?
I was drinking and watching a movie, and I was just he couldn't do that in real life. No way. And I just thought, wonder what would happen if he fought this other badass. And I was oh, all right, let's put that on Facebook and see what other people think. And
the thing that I think is the most difficult about it is are you going off of the character, or are you going off the real person?
Well, see, that's the difficult part. Is it started out with I was watching Die Hard, so I was I bet a Riggs versus John McClane fight would be the shit. Lethal Weapon versus Die Hard. And then the next one I think was Bruce Lee or Jet Li, which those are the actual any character they're essentially playing themselves.
Right. and I was very like against Bruce Lee just because I never really watched the Bruce Lee films.
I'm leaving. Stupid.
And we've already covered that. But can you get on there? Can you get on Facebook just because it's plugged in up there?
Sure.
So the first one, John McClane one, I don't know the percentages, but I know.
Well, I should have saved it a little bit easier to get to because I was hoping that you had the all the notes together for it.
Well, I know the order, but I do not know the percentages. Yeah. I think the by far the best one we had was Jason Statham and Jean-Claude Van Damme. That was like an all-out war.
The most recent one though that you posted, and I want to get your guys' take. Are you guys Office fans at all?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
So
every episode,
big time.
So the most recent one that was posted was
it's Holly versus Jan. Right?
Holly versus Jan. So my first thought is like, well, it's based off of them being hot, right? So I think that, in my opinion, Jan wins already because I think Jan's hotter than Holly, even though I like Holly's character better.
So Jan, are you talking Jan early on or Jan after the work was done?
I think either one. I think I'm in either way. Like I liked her both ways. But she's winning 75% to 25% currently.
You like crazy in your life.
well, before my wife, I dabbled a little bit in crazy women, just a little bit. But yeah, it was. I think these are really good at like boosting the engagement in the Facebook page because before Johnny, I was just kind of like posting like random thoughts every now and then. And
the best comment is Jan is crazy, which is hot, which I disagree. Holly is a weirdo that can kick rocks, and I think the complete opposite of that. So I think there's people out there that I think weird people are hot. Like I think people that are different and kind of weird, quirky are pretty hot, and then I think people that are crazy and do weird shit like this kind of shit Jan does makes me like I don't like crazy. You know what I mean? Like that's a little nuts. So
well, I know Brian Harper Jr. personally, and that makes a lot of sense.
Calling him out, and then Jeremiah posting Jan is horrible. I like that.
I agree with Ashley Huff up there that says Jan was crazy, but she was hot. You know, that's true.
And then there's a video I really wanted to show. If you go down, it's the wheelchair guy. Right there. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Go ahead and click on it.
Oh no.
The audio is the best
there
part.
There were his arms.
What's the worst that's going to happen? Is he going to get paralyzed?
AP had the best comment for that one. Like, oh, so you wanted to be paralyzed.
Oh shit.
When I watched that, I just started dying laughing, and like I was crying laughing, and my wife was just really annoyed by me, but like just oh shoot. And if you scroll down, those are the best. I think those are the best comments on any of the videos I've seen recently.
That goes way farther past put it in reverse, Terry.
But these right here, he's probably going to be in a real wheelchair the rest of his life. Yeah. Oh, he wanted to be paralyzed. But I was just scrolling through these, like dying laughing.
That's the best one. We can safely assume that's the second worst accident he's ever been.
But yeah, that was
top two for sure. It's on the podium.
I wish they would interview him after. Like that had to have been one of the worst accidents I've been in.
My favorite one that is somewhere in there is if he only had another 2 feet, he would have made it.
From paraplegic to quadriplegic. Yeah, that's good.
But yeah, so like I said, I appreciate you, Johnny, taking over the Facebook page and posting a lot of interesting things. Shane, tell us about B-Dubs.
So I went to B-Dubs.
Hold on. Oh, I was going to cut you off real quick.
You can't have any more beer. Maybe there should be a poll on whether or not he can continue to vote to drink tonight.
Well, I'm a grown man, so this is not a establishment. So I went there with like another couple, my daughter and my girlfriend, and we're just sitting there, and we were there from like 1 o'clock to 5:30. So that's a decent amount of time. We watched football. We even ate full meals. And then I had 4 drinks. My girlfriend has 3 drinks. And then I'm not sure what the other couple had, but they were not acting like crazy at all.
Right.
And then so about 4:50 comes around, and the other lady's like, "Hey, I'm gonna get you," and she keeps like, I thought it was weird already. She's like, "You guys need some water?" And I'm like, "No, I'm good." She kept asking, like, "No, you guys need some." I'm like, "No, lady, I don't want any water," but she kept asking, and then. So she's like, "Yeah, well, you guys I'm going to check you out, and then I'm going to have so-and-so take care of you." So so-and-so comes over, and we're like, "Hey, can we get another," or I didn't even say, "Can I have another drink?" One of the couple we were with, we were done. And she's like, "No, unfortunately, you guys are cut off." And we sat there for like 10 seconds, like, what? Like,
so your original waitress or waiter or whatever had passed that buck off to somebody else.
And told the manager and everything. Yeah. So we're like, well, so the couple we were with, the girlfriend was like, "Listen, like, we need to see your manager right now. This is fucking ridiculous." So he comes over and he's like, "Well, it's her liquor license and she just thinks," and we're like, "Are you kidding? We've been here for we just didn't understand. There's people across from us hooting and hollering, yelling at the game, and we're just sitting there having drinks, chilling out. And then there's a couple, and there's another group of guys to the like right of us, and they're all listening to what's happening here, and they're like, "Bullshit!" Like,
so those guys are the ones who should have been cut off.
And she's like, "I'm gonna go get my manager," and then as soon as they walked away, those guys were like, "Yeah, we've had 6 pitchers," and we're like, "What the fuck is happening?"
Is this a B-Dubs inside or outside of 465?
This is B-Dubs in Greenfield.
It's a new one.
It's been around for like a couple months or something like that. And
they just had I bet they just had training on how much you're allowed to have.
Well,
there's some book.
And I brought, okay, I'm a server.
Yeah.
Or I have been a server before, and I'm a damn good one. Which is not a cool thing to be. But I am nonetheless. So I tell the guy, I'm like, "Look, I've taken those tests that you have to take to find out how much someone needs to drink an hour, and I know we are within the limits of that, and this is fucking bullshit." I didn't say this is fucking bullshit because I didn't want to like add to the thought of him thinking we're drunk. So I was like, "This is stupid," and like the other chick was like, I don't know, basically just calling the dude out, and he's like, didn't have a good answer for anything. And he's like, "Well, I just have to respect the fact that," and we're like, whatever. And then the chick was like, "We're never coming here again."
This would never happen at Wings, etc.
I told my girlfriend we should have went to Wings, etc. She's like, "Yeah." So I got my buddy who I was with, he sent me a text. He's like, "Did you make it home all right, dude?" And I just put, "Nah, dude, too drunk." So like we were completely fine. I had my daughter, and that's what made it embarrassing because they were like talking to us, and I'm like, "This is, my 4-year-old daughter's right here. I'm not like hammered at all."
Is Daddy going to jail?
Yeah. I was just so confused as to why they were doing it, but so I don't, fuck them, and we're not ever going there again.
Yeah.
And then she was, my buddy's girlfriend was taking pictures, and she was about to put it all on Yelp and do all that bullshit, but I was just like, I don't know, it was just like, I was so like, what is happening?
Anybody want to go to B-Dubs? Greenfield's on the way home for us.
Where's Ashton Kutcher at?
You
are getting punked right now?
You were moments away from being a viral video.
Yeah.
Because you could start freaking out about it. And but you'd have to.
Guys that were yelling right next to you.
But I think the part
they would have been on your side.
The part that mattered is I was like, dude, I'm 30 years old. I've gotten cut off plenty of times in my life when I was 21, 22. But I'm not out at bars on a Sunday with my daughter and another couple just fucking getting shit-faced like all these other people that are clearly here doing that. But I am not one of those people, and I don't know if the waitress was young and she just didn't, like, she may have just taken that class like you said and like, "Oh, these are signs." But my girlfriend asked for ibuprofen, which I don't know if that fucked with her, but my girlfriend had a sinus headache, so we're like,
were you doing something stupid like cheering for the Redskins or something today?
I would never.
He's like, "How dare you?"
No, the Patriots got beat by the Dolphins.
That was
real
crazy end of the game play.
And even with that, I was like, "Oh man, that's crazy." I wasn't like, "Whoa!" So like, I just don't understand. But fuck that.
Dakota, on Sunday afternoons, they play this thing called football, and normally you throw a ball down the field, and that's caught. Yeah. But
I was wondering what Sam Adams was doing fighting a dolphin.
Yeah. In the Miami game, they threw the ball backwards a few times, and then the guy scored, and it was a miracle.
That would be a pretty good fight. We could put that up on the Facebook page. Sam Adams versus a dolphin.
Sam Adams versus Flipper.
But there's so many mean things I could say about, like, and our service was horrible, but we didn't say anything about, like, the entire time we're like, this place is new, whatever, like, and then they were like, well, you didn't say your service was horrible until we cut you off. And I'm like, well, I promise you, we had shitty service and then you cut us off.
I would have been way drunker if you were Johnny on the spot with the Bud Light.
Seriously.
You probably. Anyways, no, I was like hearing this story. I was thinking, I can't remember a time that I was cut off, but it's probably because every time I was cut off, I needed to be cut off.
Yeah, I've been cut off by myself while my daughter's somewhere safe with a babysitter. Right. I don't even think I've gotten cut off while I've had a kid. But what I'm saying is, like, I've been cut off, but that's not the point. The point is, in this situation, I was well in rights of having one more beer if I wanted to, because I've had 3 or 4 and it's been 4.5 hours, and you're giving me shit, and there's this guy over there like, oh, fuck yeah, dude, like yelling and screaming. I'm like, you're really going to cut us off? Okay. So that's the story.
It was all right. Well, fuck Buffalo Wild Wings in Greenfield, but you always got to give them a second chance, though.
No.
All right. Well, I'll give them a second chance.
I'm going to Wings Etc. from now on.
And speaking of the food service, did you guys hear about the Whopper for a penny?
Yeah, yes. I did it. Friday
Hardcore move by Burger King.
Yeah, that's the shit.
So the deal is if
that's the Whopper coming back.
It's up until December 12th, so I think you got 3 more days. If you order a Whopper on the Burger King app, you can get but you have to be within 600 feet of a McDonald's, and you also have to give them access to your location on your phone too, which I think is a little weird too. Like, does Burger King really need to know where I'm at? But anyways,
I heard the McDonald's Burger King battle is getting savage. Did you see that picture? It's like, it was right next to a McDonald's, and it was like New York or something, and on the wall was a giant billboard, and 99% of the billboard was white, and then they put actual size of a, like, they had the meal. It's like on the screen this small, and they're like, they just put actual size of a number 1 or something like that. It's just this little dot that's on the fucking giant billboard.
This is definitely what we need more, though, is more of this competition. So, I mean, you guys are from the libertarian side of things. How do you feel about the fast food restaurants just going at each other?
Love it. My favorite is Wendy's on Twitter. Their Twitter game is great.
It is great.
I've actually seen it before, but
oh, dude, it's good. It's really good. I think anytime anybody talks smack to Wendy's, they respond and talk smack back. It's pretty good.
Yeah, basically the Libertarian Party is the Wendy's of the conversation, or will shitpost.
Yeah, you have 2 giants going after each other, and we're just like,
try the chili. We offer chili, and you guys don't. That's if I go totally into my libertarian hat wearing phase, we like choices in everything, right? You don't go just Coke or Pepsi. You can have Diet Coke, or you can have RC Cola. Or
RC Cola is delicious.
Whatever you want, right? So you've got different options, and that's the
this is the Wendy's Twitter. Prove it. If you
so.
Well, thanks for sharing your baby.
Why y'all like this? We tried to keep it friendly, but we aren't here to get trashed by someone.
That's a good pun.
Wendy's treats.
So basically, right now we're looking at the Wendy's Twitter feed.
We're just reading the internet, but we forgot we're on a podcast. We're just reading it for ourselves. We're not the best at comprehension, so we can't do it out loud and read it to you guys.
Great radio.
McDonald's posted something that said, today we announced by mid-2018 all quarter-pounder burgers at the majority of our restaurants will be cooked with fresh beef.
Just a majority.
And then Wendy's said, McDonald's, so you still use frozen beef in most of your burgers in all of your restaurants. Asking for a friend.
Is the asking for a friend thing, has it gone?
No, dude, it's still there.
Is it past its
I'm also
prime?
30 and don't know when stuff is cool or not, but I'm going to say it's still cool.
Wendy's is still using it, so that's good enough for me.
I went to Wendy's, but my girlfriend wants McDonald's. What do I do? There are plenty of efficiency. Dude, Black Friday, need copy and link. When the tweets are as broken as the damn, savage.
They just get somebody that makes $40,000 a year that just sits there. That's just refreshing on the other McDonald's, on the other company.
My friends like Wendy's, but I don't. What do I tell them? Apologize for being wrong. Some of them are just straight to the point, which I like too. If the beef is never frozen, then how do you guys keep it fresh? Refrigerators. Oh shit! All right,
cut off. Phone down. But yeah, so that was a big thing in the news that I thought was just interesting, and quite a few people have talked about it. I think it's a good move, and it's basically kind of turning millions of McDonald's into Burger King stores, basically, because I would not go to. The thing is, I don't eat fast food that much. So, but if I was to eat fast food, I would definitely want a Whopper for a penny, and I like the Whopper better than the Big Mac.
What is Subway?
1,000%.
What is Subway good at? Underground transportation. Oh, great. Why is your beef square? Because we don't cut corners. Oh, that's so good. It's a Michael Scott answer right there.
Heck yeah.
All right, so we had this happen. It was recently, and it was a boxing match. I think boxing's dead. I don't really watch it. Johnny is a fan of boxing. How about you guys? Do you guys watch boxing at all?
That was a bold ass statement.
I don't know. I've never enjoyed watching it. So
no, I mean it. When I was a kid, Evander and Mike Tyson was a thing, but I couldn't even name a pro boxer right now. If it'd be like Dakota trying to name the running back for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
Hey man, at least we both have co-hosts where know nothing about fucking football.
It'd be a real kick in the stomach if he did, though.
We should have.
I should just get really good
That's
at
not that funny.
knowing about football, and just every time Jeremiah tries to make fun of me, I'm like, no.
Yeah. Well, the running back just kicked some chick in the stomach, and he's.
We should have a football off, where the co-host who knows more about football.
Dakota's the athlete. He played high school football for Tri, right? He played.
That was good enough for me.
Not a clue.
What year did you play at Tri?
At least you tried.
Probably,
or years, I guess.
Yeah. 2010 to 2012.
Yeah, I missed you.
We didn't get to kill
completely.
you.
Yeah.
I was 06 or 02 to 06.
Damn,
so we played football against. It was a Tri High.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's Tri High, but there's also Triton Central, right?
Right. Yeah.
Tri High was like maroon. Right?
Yep. That's the Titans.
Yep.
Buddy.
The mighty Tri-High Titans.
Justin avoided being a hometown hero by moving just 4 or 5 miles outside of the town.
But
Hancock County. Boop, Justin, just right outside.
Hey, I was gone for quite a bit of time, right? Yeah. But no, I wanted to ask because Johnny is a big fan of the fight, the boxing game, and Tyson Fury fought Wilder.
We won't tell him what just happened.
Yep.
You just spilled it.
No.
Good God.
No, it's fine.
Whatever you do not go to B-dubs later.
But you had some thoughts on the fight, and I also wanted to kind of see what your thoughts are on the current boxing world, because there's what's his name, the announcer that's he just loses his mind every time there's a decision and it doesn't go the way he thinks it is.
Yeah, I did see the one where he didn't lose his mind. He's like, these guys come out here and they put their life on the line. That guy. Yeah.
I don't even know. I'm not that deep into it anymore.
But so what do you think about this most recent one? Because the guy, was it Tyson Fury? Is he the monster guy that's
Tyson
6'7"?
Fury is the 6'9". He went in at 6'9", 286 pounds. And before this, he was 400 pounds, banging hookers and doing cocaine.
I'm fact-checking that.
And he lost that amount of weight in a short period of time.
And
so one of the best things the reason I like this fight so much is because I listened to Tyson Fury come on Joe Rogan and tell his story about how he's battled mental health and he's battled all these addictions, what Johnny was talking about. And then he's like, I'm fucking back. I'm going to fight this dude, which is Deontay Wilder, is one of the best fighters ever. And so those two dudes are going to fight each other, and that's why I wanted to basically see the fight between them, because it was a huge thing.
And he beat one of the Klitschkos, which the Klitschkos are giant, mutant-looking people as well. So.
Yeah, one of them is dating Hayden Panettiere also, and she's this tall. Nice. Imagine that in the bedroom.
That's gross. Yeah, but so you watched the fight though? Correct?
I don't have Showtime, but I got to watch some of the fight. Yes.
So you were one of the 10 million people that illegally watched the fight?
On 4 separate channels, because they kept fucking shutting them down. It's pissing me off. So I missed certain rounds.
So that's what's another insane thing, coming from the political side of things. There was 325,000 people that legally purchased the pay-per-view, but 10 million people watched it illegally by streaming services. So, like, how does that even, like, I mean, how much money is lost there then? 10 million times however much it costs to buy the pay-per-view?
In the U.S., they usually cost between $60 to $80, and in the UK, it's like $15.
If you promote it the right way, you can... I think you can make the merchandise up. If you've got 10 million people that are that passionate about coming out and getting your show illegally, you've got an audience that you can market to anyway. The pay-per-view thing might be dead at this point in the age of IP. But you've got ways to get that rabid fan base anyway.
Well, and then a similar thing is like Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones is like it used to be. I don't know if it still is, but it was like the most pirated TV show of all time for a long time. But it didn't hurt the value of Game of Thrones because Game of Thrones is still around. So
Tyson Fury didn't give a fuck, though. He donated his entire $8 million purse to homeless, and
that's insane.
Yeah, he won. He got $8 million for the fight and gave it all away.
If you're going to get 300,000 people to actually pay versus 10 million, they're going to look another way. See, I think that's where you look at Amazon or someplace, take a check from them, and then you also get the merch. You know, you've got video games, right? Minecraft was damn near free. The hell's the kids game now? Not Fallout. Fortnite's been free, right?
But they're all the microtransactions. They're geniuses in that way.
Well, they're doing that, but then you walk through Walmart and everywhere else, and there's Fortnite Monopoly, there's Fortnite T-shirts. You're printing money.
Exactly.
You know, I think there's ways to you give your product away for free and then make money off everything else.
Exactly, and I think that's kind of the way it's going with a lot of these situations. Is this
This is the knockdown in round 12 that
everybody lost their mind about?
Started calling him the Undertaker.
He is huge.
Yeah, he's a massive man.
But this guy is like, I mean, this guy's athletic as hell, and he's a giant dude too. He's just not 6'9".
He's like 6'7", 6'8", but he only he's under 220. He's like 226.
I feel like we're watching these two humanoids go at it in the ring that we've bred selectively.
Tyson Fury could play a Cyclops in any movie.
I haven't been this uncomfortable since I watched Django.
Wow, well played. For how big he is, though, like his footwork is incredible. He has the footwork of like a 5'9", 210-pound running back in NFL.
Which one are you talking about?
Tyson Fury.
Yeah.
I mean, I could dive into it if you'd like, but... Yeah.
So look at his legs right there, though. Don't they kind of look like Q-tips or toothpicks? Like,
yeah, they do. They're tiny.
I think he's missing the squat days. He's missing leg days.
That's like the pot calling the kettle black, though.
Hey, dude, I've got some skinny legs. I'm going to own it. I'm going to own it.
He's also not throwing head kicks or leg kicks. Or,
I think my favorite thing that came from any of this was not the fight itself. It was really cool that he got up and from that punch or whatever. Just kind of the story that went along with it. Like I said, what happened on Joe Rogan and all that stuff, and talking about his battle with mental illness, getting knocked down like that, and then showing the whole world he could get back up. That's always a fucking cool Cinderella story. A lot of people say that he got robbed of that fight. Who cares? Well, you know what? Yeah. So, and then what also is the coolest to top all that off is he did give his $8 million, $9 million purse to homeless people or whatever it was that he gave it to. And I think all that put together makes him way more of a cool boxer dude than the other dude. Just basically made himself look like an idiot by all, half his videos and half his interviews are him just like, talking shit and, so that's why I like Tyson Fury so much.
I mean, he just became like boxing's Marshawn Lynch for me. Like, Marshawn Lynch is an underrated favorite human of all time. And watching him on Rogan's podcast, watching him pre-fight, after fight, during a fight, and everything he did, it's like, damn, how do you not like this guy?
Well, and then how do you feel about having the access to the people that we watch in like the sporting world and things like that? Because you actually get to see what kind of like person they are, I guess, at least in front of a microphone and in front of a camera, but it's still a relaxed state. Like going on Joe Rogan, like that's a very impressive thing.
Yeah.
We've got so much more access to athletes and
even
celebrities now,
and even the people that you guys have had on, some of the people in the political race that you guys were involved in and everything like that. That was like interesting to me that you guys were able to get them to come on and talk to you guys.
Yeah, we've had state senate we hosted an official state senate debate for all three people running for an open senate seat. Wow. We've had people that were running for everybody but Mike Pence's brother, Greg Pence, our next congressman, came on our show and came through the studio.
That's awesome.
Every single person running for that congressional seat other than him showed up and came through Dakota's spare bedroom or our new studio in downtown Newcastle once we got it.
I gotta come check that out too, by the way.
We got you booked here in a couple weeks,
exactly.
Right?
So we got that. Man, I can't wait to see that.
It was really weird whenever it was in my spare bedroom because it's like, there's a state senator in my kitchen.
Exactly.
It's not like a real senator. It's a state senator. Office reference for you. Yeah.
So also UFC 231 was last night too.
Max Holloway. Holy shit.
Man, Brian, I was really pulling for Brian Ortega, he comes from Gracie Jiu-Jitsu.
Yep.
And he's kind of I don't know, you can't hate the guy. He's like super nice guy, super down to earth. And then Max Holloway's kind of like, kind of show off a little bit, but he's definitely the better fighter. But
Ian Pomfret that we've had on the podcast was posting on Twitter that he had like some sort of bets going on like a MyBookie type thing.
I betted on DraftKings,
and his girlfriend like talked him out of it. But if he would have like put the $300 on the person that he picked, he would have won like $13,000 or something like that.
Wow!
And she talked him out of it.
Well, Wendy said it best. There's plenty of fish in the sea. I'm just playing.
But no, what we were talking about the access to people. So that's the other thing. Like, I mean, just doing the podcast, like we've gotten the chance to talk to some people that I don't think we would have ever been able to talk to before. We got to talk to Jake Johnson in like episode 110 or something like that.
That was a great episode too.
But it's just
Sean Latham as well.
Yeah, Sean Latham. That was an awesome
incredible
one. And it's just awesome to be able to like, I think see the people a little bit more real, because back in the day, like we didn't actually get to see any of that. Like,
yeah, you got a very carefully crafted version of everybody, right? Or you get it through a magazine that would come out once a month. Now you've got Snapchat stories or Instagram stories from somebody, and they're just doing it themselves all day long.
Mm-hmm. And you get like that unfiltered approach. That's the thing that I mean, it's hard to like give positives from the president that is currently running the country, but I love the unfiltered approach that he has on Twitter, where he just says whatever he wants, because then I actually know like that's running through his mind right this second.
Well, and that's one of the neat things about podcasting, right? And anybody that hosts a podcast or talk radio, you can't fake it for 3 hours a day, or if we just did our 90th episode. You're well over 100 now for the Juice Show. People get to know who you are. You can't come up with some bullshit character and then keep it up for month after month. Eventually you have to be just who you are, and then your audience connects with you, and that's who follows you.
Yeah, and that's what we talked about. Like Johnny and I talked about it, because Johnny's wanting to improve his game on the podcast. Shane brings I'm telling you, there are times that you make me laugh so hard.
Brings the fucking heat.
Like every time. And I know that Johnny has wanted to like improve his game of like, he was like, dude, I think I was trying to be like too funny in the beginning. And he's like, as soon as he like kind of like relaxed and just started being himself, it's been a lot smoother for you.
Yeah, our whole approach for the Boss Hog Show has been, we're going to talk about issues that matter. So we're mostly politically focused, but it's basically about life. So whatever we're interested in. And Dakota and I both have political stuff we care about, but we're going to have fun. So we're going to make fun of it constantly as it's going along. And we will sit there with, somebody that's very high level, whether they're an actor or an athlete or a comic or a politician or just somebody we think is fun. We'll sit there and bullshit for 10 or 15 minutes amongst ourselves and make them come to our studio and just have our conversation. And then, if they want to jump in, great. But then we'll get into the conversation with them.
What's the most off the wall question that you guys have like asked somebody?
Oh, man.
That's Chase's job.
Chase is one of our co-hosts. We have a rotating cast that comes in, and Chase is the king of asking unfiltered questions. He even did it to Jeremiah.
Yeah, I was running for you actually had boxers briefs or whatever it was.
Yeah.
As I'm trying to run for this office and spending thousands of dollars of money that we've raised from people, and that's the kind of questions Chase comes up with.
He asked boxers or briefs.
Yes.
Can I tell you one of the craziest things I think we've asked anybody is when we asked Spencer Pratt why he's so into what's her name?
Taylor Swift.
Like, in what world, or like, did I ever think I'd be talking to Spencer Pratt about how he's obsessed with Taylor Swift?
And then he goes on like a 15-minute rant of everything that he loves about Taylor Swift.
Kind of earlier when you were saying like everyone's so down to earth and pretty cool, like minus like he wasn't. He was kind of into himself and a little.
So I liked him, but the thing is I think he's in that status where he has like created that character of himself, and he lives that. Like, he lives that character. Like, that's
created a new identity.
It's not a character anymore. That's him.
Interview would have been a lot better if he would have like not given such long answers.
Right.
He really rambled for a long time, but his answers were funny.
Yeah.
But then when we talked to Jake Johnson and
TJ
Lavin, they were both like super down to earth and way cooler than I thought they would ever be, and like most down to earth people I've whatever. So
we try to get people to come in studio.
That makes it so much better when you can.
It's amazing that we get people all the way to Newcastle. It blows my mind every time that we've had, Chris Bowers has come all the way out there. And, Brent Terhune is out there. And both
of those guys are bucket list guys I want on this show, too. Yeah. So if you got an in over there,
just give them my information.
Bowers is in California now.
Yeah, so you got to catch him on a trip back out here now.
Right.
We got him just before he left, a month or two before he left. We've done a handful. Robin Miller, the racing journalist, was on last year. We kind of did an Indy car preview, or an Indy 500 preview with him, and that was a fun one. But he's the rare exception that we've done one by telephone. Yeah. Other than, I think like after the Ron Colley thing had happened, we just had Ben Palizzi and Joey Molinaro on from the Espresso podcast, and then like
they're both hilarious,
and they're great guys. Joey they both went to Ron Colley, but Joey called in a week or two after I guess it's the week of the Ron Colley deal, and we talked to him, and because that was the lady that lost her job was his guidance counselor,
right?
So it was another fun one. And then we had a kid that was at Purdue that called in, Mason Rottinghouse, who was in when Purdue had the comic who got thrown out or booed out off the stage 2-3 months ago for
for making some comment that was deemed sexual harassment. And everyone on social media is freaking out about college students being too sensitive. And Mason calls in, he's like, you guys don't understand. Right before he went on, we had a seminar about sexual harassment.
It was like fresh on their mind.
So they all know the signs they're looking for. And that was something we had that nobody always had that story.
I just picturing like them having that, and then this guy walking out, and they have like a piece of paper, and they're like, okay, check. Check. Okay, this guy's a fucking sexual harasser. And then just yelling at him and shit.
Yeah. So that was perfect. But that's the exception to the rule, honestly. 99% of the time, people are actually in studio with us.
What are you doing over there now? Are you breaking stuff?
His mic went limp.
I'm going to see a doctor about that.
I was going to say.
So talking about you
should be used to this.
The things being offensive. What do you guys think about the?
Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you, sir.
What do you think about the Christmas things that are coming out as being offensive? So
I'm tired of it raping my ears.
there's the baby, it's cold outside, which is
stop taking away things that are great.
Some say it promotes date rape culture. Those in favor of banning the song insist that the woman in the song tries multiple times to leave while the man pushes her to stay. The woman sings, "I ought to say no, 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 sir," expressing clearly she wants to go, and say, "What's in this drink?" Sounds like a red flag that there's something in the drink that shouldn't be there.
Bill Cosby
what's
write
in
the
this
song?
drink used to be like a common saying.
Yeah.
Like, because it's written in the 20s, and we had an episode where we talked about different
like
dialects.
Whoa, what's in this drink?
Yeah, it's like hey, like whenever you're messing around with your friends and you're like, hey, what's in this drink anyway? That was a really common saying. It's not like, oh my God, you just roofied my drink. Get away from me. No.
It's what you guys were talking about, the guy calling in.
Did they even have roofies when that song was made?
How old is Mickey?
How old is Bill Cosby?
He's old enough to have done it.
Exactly. No, I'm just tired of everybody being offended by literally everything. I mean, there's the issue with the internet too, with the fact that if you are getting ready to do something, people can dive back into your social media history and crucify you for something that you said
Kevin
3 or
Hart
4
this
years
week,
ago.
right?
That's exactly what I was
I
getting
got
to.
a lot of deleting to do.
Whoa! What did he say?
I don't know. It's homophobic stuff apparently, but like it's once again.
Dude,
He's a
Hold on.
comedian.
I was going to say, you're kidding me. A comedian said something homophobic? Get out of here.
It was okay 5 years ago, but Twitter's been around for 10, so
Oh my
Exactly.
God.
you got to go back and purge now.
Oh my god.
Well, and the funny thing is like going back and looking at them, they were pretty funny tweets. Like that's what I was thinking. Like when I was seeing it scroll on CNN, I was like, "Ooh, that was a pretty funny one."
Well, he's a comedian. I mean, it's
And then
his job.
But the other messed up thing is
The
he
quote here
apologized.
from Kevin Hart is, "Why can't you queers, lesbos, and trannies just take a joke?"
I mean, why can't you? I mean,
There was a quote that was said to me by a construction boss I had a long time ago that said, "If you can take a dick, you can take a joke." And
There
he
you
said
go.
that all the time.
If you can't take a joke, take a shuttle. Uncle Joey Diaz said that.
What? If you can't take a joke.
He's like, if you can't take a joke, take a shuttle, cocksucker.
I think he meant it's like leave.
That's a pretty good
Okay,
Joey
gotcha.
Diaz joke.
Yeah.
Or impression. Yeah, that's good.
But yeah, so that's one of those things like Christmas is a very fun time. That's one of my favorite times of the year. And I think there was also the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer was offensive.
What the
apparently.
hell? What?
As well,
I didn't see that one.
because it promotes bullying with lyrics such as all of the other reindeer used to laugh and call them names.
Well, if they did, then they did. I'd like you're telling a story about how he got bullied. You can't be like, leave that out.
And I don't feel like it's promoting bullying.
And then like he was bullied, and then he like showed those motherfuckers. He was like, "Look at me, I'm in the front. I got a light. Fuck you guys." Like, why's it got to be like, you know what I mean? Like, why? It was a good thing.
Right.
Wouldn't it be female reindeer though?
No, I don't know.
Yeah, because
They're all the reindeer are gender neutral now at this point. I don't think we're allowed to know.
They're all Zims.
well, I heard only the female reindeer keep their antlers during the winter, whereas the males don't get theirs.
I don't know about that.
Dude,
I don't
watch
know.
BBC all the time.
BBC.
Not what you watch on. I watch that too, but let's not talk about it.
I watched that in my living room. Okay.
It's on the big screen. He's not ashamed of it at all.
Yeah, those
It
those are
shows
just
the girth.
Those are just a few.
I'm big on girth.
I've lost my place now.
Dude, instead of, okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm seeing like a show called, like with reindeers, but instead, like, you know how it's called, the show's called Earth? Girth. It's just,
And it's narrated by Samuel L.
and it's like
Jackson.
there's like a British guy.
motherfucking reindeer.
There's just a guy who's like, as the dick lays itself on the floor. Like, just like all these different just pictures of dicks. Anyways, go on.
So
On the next season of Girth.
As the dick slaps the forehead, you can see.
Penetration goes in.
Guys have definitely- it's off the rails on that one.
I'll try to bring it back. So I think what we've done is some 22-year-old finds some old song that they hear playing. So they hear, oh my God, they talked about putting something in somebody's drink. So they're going to write an outrage deal. And then 3 more people retweet it. And then somebody at MSN or Slate says, the whole internet's going crazy over this. And then they create the controversy, which then creates this loop cycle.
Right.
And then nobody really gave a damn. Nobody cared. Especially nobody in the flyover country cared at all. 4 people with an internet connection and a little bit of a voice cared. And then the morning news gets to talk about it for 3 minutes and act like it's
clickbait.
And it's clickbait. And so I think it really, this year more than any other that I've seen, there's been 3 or 4, some bullshit about candy canes. And, I don't even click on the articles anymore. I just know that it's clickbait and it's fake outrage.
Yeah, the candy cane is the red on the candy cane represents the blood of Christ, and the white represents something else. And I'm pretty sure it's shaped in a J, so that's like Jesus. Like,
What?
I'm going to start looking at things.
It sounds like a real reach.
I thought it was because it was a nice little hook for your Christmas tree.
I think for next week's show, Dakota, our goal should be to find like 5 things to be outraged about.
Yes,
and we'll be the origin story.
And you guys are the ones that are like super pissed.
I mean, I go get shut down at beat ups. Nobody cares. But
did you claim that it's a hate crime? Because I think Governor Holcomb's going to work on that for you.
I'm going to start doing beard outrage. Like, I'm bearded, so you're treating me differently.
My religion says that I can have all the beer I want on Sunday. Okay,
are you treating me this way because I have a beard? Because if you are, I will let my congressman know.
We know a guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then, like, I mean, this has been talked about as well in the same vein of all the stuff that we're talking about. The pita stuff. Did you guys hear about that?
The bread?
The bread.
Because I care more about that than I do about the fucking group.
It's stop using anti-animal language. So it's got a whole table that
this is the beating the dead horse
that they tweeted out.
Oh my god!
Instead of kill two birds with one stone, feed two birds with one scone.
Is this real life?
This can't be real. I feel like this is put out just so that they can be like, you know how we can really piss off some conservative boomers?
Wow.
Okay.
They're going to use caps lock this week, I swear to God.
I prefer give two birds alone.
There's be the guinea pig, and they said instead of that, say be the test tube.
What?
Not a big fan of that. Instead of beat a dead horse, say feed a fed horse.
Well, then he's gonna be full. He's gonna be too full.
Bring home the bacon. Bring home the bagels. So I don't know.
That's just
bagels.
That's just big bagel one.
My grandfather was a baker.
Bagels have eggs in them, and eggs, are part of an animal.
The worst one is take the bull by the horns, take the flower by the thorns. That's going to be painful, first of all, because you're going to immediately just stab yourself with a.
Have you tried taking a bull by the horns?
Yeah, I'd really much rather grab the flower.
I'm going flower all day. I've accidentally grabbed a rose.
No, I don't know. I just think it's another thing that we are. I'm tired of just seeing all the stuff that we're getting enraged about.
I think they should all just be things that you should try to do to animals that will get you fucked up. Like grabbing a bull by the horns is going to fuck you up. Yeah. So they should all just rhyme with things that's going to, like the animal's going to hurt you.
Do you have one?
No. But that's one.
No, but it's a good idea.
Bestiality agreement 5, 4, 3, 2.
I'm really trying to think of what I get. Damn it.
I was thinking of something with squirrel and nuts, but
I'll think of one. Give me a second.
Yeah.
But yeah, some of the responses was one person tweeted, "What in the Birkenstock wearing, bongo beating, bean sprout eating, bushy armpit having, mechanical cigarette smoking, cucumber sandwich making fuckery is this shit?" That was their response to the tweet.
It's a good answer.
I like that. I think though that's I think that's an overdone one as well though.
But it accomplishes exactly what they wanted. PETA's in the news again.
Exactly.
They win. Damn them. I've had 2 steaks in 2 days, so they're not winning me over.
I don't know. Like my aunt she's like says vegetarian, but she also eats fish. I think so. What is that? That's
they don't have souls.
A pescatarian. But yeah, so but she does it just because she doesn't really like beef. She doesn't really like pork. I love all of those things, so I'm going to continue to eat those. And what's that documentary that was out that I think was
which one?
All about
there's 18,000.
All about being vegan.
Oh, I would never ever.
Yeah, that's not. I've got a deep cut playlist, but the vegan documentaries, I'm striking out, man.
I will tell you,
Incorporated.
Yeah,
is that it?
Yes, that's it.
I will tell you that I guarantee I've seen it. But
I'm normally cooking a steak.
Oh no! What the health? That's
what the hell?
I saw that one too.
But
what do you do with your spare time? Vegan documentaries?
Food Incorporated, we had to watch in my sociology class because my sociology professor was a vegan. So
that's another thing.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, it had nothing to do with sociology, but
that's another thing. Important. I feel like professors at schools and stuff, they push their agenda a lot.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
It's so annoying, dude. I've been in college. Luckily, it's not like that where I'm at right now, but when I was going to Ivy Tech, I took a history class, and my teacher was a black man, and we talked a lot about slavery. Let me tell you that. And I was like, this doesn't, we're talking about when Clinton was president. It has nothing to do. He's like,
that was only 3 people ago.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying that we talked a lot about slavery.
Clinton was president when Dakota over here was born.
True.
He was getting blowjobs when you were sucking on the pacifier.
Did your teacher bang anybody? I see so many.
Nobody told us that he went and saw Black Panther 4 times, and I'm like, it was pretty good.
But I don't think it was that good.
No, it's also getting ready to. It's nominated for an Academy Award or
Oscar.
Well,
I think that's the same.
Not
thing.
that
I don't
good.
know why I said that.
And I'm not saying it's not that good because of
your blatant racism.
I'm saying it's just as good as one of the other Marvel movies.
Oh, yeah.
But they're not getting Academy Awards and Oscars and shit. I think they're all equally good. And I think it was a great movie, but it's getting a little too much.
It sounds a lot like All Lives Matter over here.
We need to bring back Black Hair Matters.
Hold on. Don't they? No? Okay. All right.
Hey, man, I don't see your Amistad movie poster in here, so I'm not sure how committed to the cause you guys are.
So do you guys enjoy the Marvel films?
Not at all.
No? Don't watch them?
No, I waste way too much time on politics and Indy cars.
Oh my gosh! I just in my head, like, how could politics be more important than Marvel? than Marvel movies?
I mean, his name is Captain America.
Because 4 Marvel movies can't raise your taxes like 4 idiots.
Do you realize Captain America fought in World War II for you? For you and your family. He defeated Red Skull for you, okay? And here you are. I don't watch Marvel movies. Whatever, man.
No, I have to tap out on that one, man.
So
I'm
what?
Clueless.
So what movies do you watch, or do you just stay away from
Tony
them for
Stark is in space right now, fighting for you, and you're just down here, drinking your beer while Tony Stark's up in space,
just taking my freedom.
He's actually suffocating for.
We went and saw Bohemian Rhapsody last weekend or 2 weekends ago. That's the most recent movie I've seen in the theater.
Was that good?
Yeah, it was awesome.
I haven't actually seen it yet.
So minus the main character put 2 chiclets right here in the front teeth, and that's all we got. 2 chiclets.
Because that was didn't he have jacked up teeth?
It just doesn't look like. I saw a little.
It was very extreme. The dental imagery was severe.
And I saw a little video of the guy that played him, and he was like, "Yeah, once I got used to those teeth, I was really on my game." I'm like, "Yeah, what? 4 weeks later? How long did it take you to get just somebody shoving shit up in your mouth and be like,
you gotta?
I'm in Queen, whatever."
That sounded like the guy from Tropic Thunder.
What? Yeah,
never go full retard.
Great movie. You watch that, but you don't watch Marvel movies.
Yeah, no. Oh God, any Judd Apatow movie, I'm first in line. Right? I love comedies and stuff, but I'm just not.
Well, and then there's
the comic book stuff just doesn't strike it for me.
Yeah, and then the thing is I got hooked on it at the very first one, the Iron Man movie, and that was almost 10 years ago. So it's a decade of investing into a show.
Were you into that kind of stuff when you were a kid at all?
I mean, not really.
It's even got a deeper, when I had action figures when I was a kid of Iron Man and all those different.
I watched X-Men, the cartoon.
X-Men was dope.
Yeah.
I
watched that, but the rest of them, I didn't really.
So excited.
I still say dope. I still say dope.
X-Men does slap though. That's pretty.
Oh man!
Don't say that because it just sounds weird. It sounds weird and it makes my skin itchy a little bit.
We're in that age range where we can say dope, but dude, there's 19-year-old kids in my school that say slap, and we are not there, sir.
I spend a lot of time volunteering. And I was yesterday morning. It was Cheeseball Day for the 4-H junior leaders. So I'm always around these kids that say every year,
So you get to the forefront of the.
No, it's gone the other way. I used to be when I first started. It was 7th grade through the end of high school, and I was 25 when I started, 24, 25. I still had some connection to these people. 10 years later, I said something, and the reference just sailed over the oldest kids' heads, and I walked away in shame yesterday.
How do you feel, Dakota? Are you still in
a lot
the cool
of things
stuff?
that sail over my head?
Sometimes
definitely the movie poster that you said earlier. I don't know what that movie is.
Dude, when I tell people at my school that I'm 29, they're like, "Are you kidding?"
But I'm guessing from the context, it's something that has to do with Nazis.
No. Amistad was a slave ship.
Okay, so there you go. Okay.
It was probably
I was wrong.
2002.
To your defense, it sounds very German.
I was wrong on the context clues there.
Very holocaustic. Is that a word?
It was another human tragedy.
Yeah.
It might be made up, but it sounds right.
Very genocidal.
There you go.
It looks good.
There we go.
That might be made up as well, but we're going to let you have it.
Do you get to keep up with the stuff the young folk are doing, or are you starting to drift out of there as well?
Or has me hanging around me ruined you, and now you just...
I just feel old.
So if football's not your thing, and are you into the comic book thing at all?
No.
So what do you
Never
like?
have been. Not a whole lot.
Oh. Besides libertarianism, what
We know they like The Office.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I
I think that the last movie I saw in theaters was Deadpool 2.
That was a good
So
one.
at least I'm there.
But I had to wait for that to come
Did
out.
you know who the characters were other than Deadpool?
Oh yeah,
Colossus. And...
See, I liked comic books and stuff whenever I was a kid, and I've just not gotten back into it.
Okay, so that's basically I should probably have given that up at some point, but instead I was like, nah, dude.
This is the weirdest intervention ever.
I'm gonna guess that you're a big fan of stand-up comedy.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Huge.
So every reference I've made so far, you kind of
speaking of interventions, great episode of The Office when they try to give
Meredith an intervention,
and it's only him trying to give everyone, and then he drives her to the place, and she's running around the parking lot.
But there's the reason I was asking that is obviously there's the Avengers trailer that's out right now that gave me goosebumps while I was watching it because, like I said, it's a decade of being invested into something. So
Juice has his own audience that just comes around and cheers whenever it's needed. Just the roar of the crowd in the background around here. I didn't expect this in Wanamaker, but it's very nice.
The judge that scored 115 to 111 on that fight, though, what?
That's the guy. That's what I was thinking that you were going to bring up earlier.
Well, I was going to, but I didn't really get a chance to because we went right into something else.
Skipped past it. Yeah, this gave me goosebumps when I saw it. But once again, you guys don't have the 10 years of invested.
I'm hoping to recognize two characters today, at least. That's Darth Vader's helmet. One for one.
Don't feel better at this. Part of the journey is the end.
It's the Death Star?
Just for the record, being adrift.
It looks like shit.
Promise
the Death Star. It is disfigured.
The Death Star would have been destroyed much faster if they would have just sent an email.
That looks like a really old Robert Downey Jr. Looks like hell.
Oxygen will run out tomorrow morning.
Fallen a long way since U.S. Marshals.
When I drift off, I will dream about you. That's all I see.
Really good sound effects.
This is the kind of sound effects that Girth uses.
Except with a lot more dicks.
Exactly what he said he was going to do.
I realized that my co-host is
50%.
I'm a giver.
Of all living creatures.
It's like Paul Rudd's
We
on the
lost.
poster.
All of us. We lost friends. We lost family.
Some sort of insect.
So that is Ronin. Did I tell you? I told you about that, right? Yeah. So what I'm thinking that they don't tell you in this is Hawkeye, who hasn't been in the last couple films, when what's his name clapped his fingers or whatever.
Thanos.
All his family died, so he goes down like a dark path. And then now he's Ronin, and he's wearing all this dark shit. Now he has swords instead.
He's a bad guy again.
I don't think he's a bad guy. Well, maybe he is.
He's conflicted.
We lost a part of ourselves.
Looks like he just murdered a bunch of people. That's not a good guy.
This is the fight of our lives.
This is going to work, Steve.
Because I don't know what I'm going to do if it doesn't.
So I know that we just watched this, but there's another one I wanted to show you right after this one.
Hi, is anyone home? This is Scott Lang. We met a few years ago at
That
the
is a
airport
rapey band.
in Germany. Got got really big.
Is this an old message?
Ant-Man, I know you know that.
It's the front door.
That's me. Can you buzz me in?
It's funny that she had to tell him it was the front door because he's from the 40s. So he's like, is this an old message?
Right.
Because I'm from 1943.
Paul Rudd alone is enough for me to go watch a movie.
So
that may get me.
That's what. Okay, so
I love Paul Rudd.
I want to give you guys a heads up about this. This is James Gunn. So you guys remember James Gunn? He got let go from Guardians of the Galaxy because of his old tweets that offended a bunch of people.
So stupid.
He's actually making something that I feel like is just a middle finger to the whole Marvel comic, all those superhero movies. So I think I want to show you guys this because it looks very intense, and I think I'm going to love it. And I love James Gunn coming back and doing something like this. There's no,
I know there is good inside you.
And you got Roy from The Office as well.
Nice.
As long as Pam's okay. Fake farmer harvesting meat.
You beat me to it.
You get boss hog inside jokes.
Who am I? You are a gift.
Your name's Cletus.
I know it's been difficult for you, baby.
Chevrolet.
You feel different from other kids. You are different.
Is that the kid from Stranger Things?
This movie's about. See, that's how I noticed.
Roy's got a hell of a beard.
Yeah, very nice beard.
Roy, Hunger Games girl, Stranger Things boy.
Did you see the asteroid hit?
Roy from The Office was like...
Roy is getting ready to go find the aliens that are going to...
Someone listen.
Roy's jealous to copy off The Quiet Place.
It's Memorial Day. I'm busy that week. Son of a bitch.
Well played.
You are special. We believe
I like her.
Kind of has a Renee Zellweger.
I like her.
He was in the barn.
Did he find it?
No. It was like he was drawn to it.
He may look like us. He's not like us.
Chewing on a fork.
Did that thing with the fork where you could do with a cherry.
Is this a fucking Superman movie?
But it's like, I don't know. It just seems really messed up.
Pepsi sponsor.
Oh, shit.
So it's like a very dark Superman.
If I wasn't in
and
a
he's
room
not
full of
he's
men,
obviously not a good guy.
because that just freaked the shit out of me.
No,
that movie looks awesome.
It's Superman Horror Edition.
Exactly. And then that's what I think, I think that's why James Gunn took on that project, because it said it's from director. Like, it's not like, I don't think he was actually the director of the film, but I think that's why he attached his name to it, because of all of the stuff that he's gone through over the last year or so.
It's a weird flex, but okay.
I think it's going to be a very, very good, I think it's going to be a great movie. I think it's going to be scary and creepy and awesome. So that was Brightburn, and then obviously we saw the Avengers one, and you guys aren't into the Avengers, so we're going to move on to the last thing that I wanted to talk about that I thought was a very interesting thing politically as well: the mushrooms or psilocybin being legalized in Oregon.
100% for it.
100% for it.
Stoner Dakota
all day.
No rule of law.
I've never done mushrooms, but I think adults should have the authority to make decisions for themselves. So.
I agree 110%. I think everything should be legalized. I don't care what it is, because it'll just, it kind of weeds people out on its own. I don't know.
I agree with that.
Just like texting and driving.
Yeah. Because, what is it, like 2020, I think is when they're going to vote on it? Why is it 2020? You guys know politics or political.
Probably the next
things
scheduled
more.
election, I would guess. They probably only hold an election every 2 years, so they probably got enough signatures. I'm guessing that's the way Oregon works: is you get signatures, put something on the ballot like you do in California.
Yeah.
And 2020 would be the next cycle. So they won't call a special election just to decide if they can have mushrooms. They'll be fiscally responsible.
Which is
and wait till the next time.
pretty decent because they have a year and some change to really throw up a lot of support behind it, to try to, as hard as they can, to get the referendum to pass.
It says the Oregon Psilocybin Society plans this month to start gathering the 140,000 signatures necessary to get the measure onto the ballot in 2020. The number of signatures required is nearly equal to the population of Salem.
Yeah, so basically they don't have enough. They're at the very early stages. They just announced, this group has announced that
So maybe
they want to do
clickbait
this.
situation as
Yeah,
well.
and now they've got to go out and actually do the work.
I thought that I thought today that I had seen that they had actually achieved
that's
the
what I
amount
thought
of
as well.
signatures to get on the ballot.
I thought as well.
This was posted December 3rd.
Brings a whole new meaning.
Well,
to
if they
everything,
got
the
it in
trip to
3
Oregon.
days, they really want their mushrooms, and it's going to pass.
It's Oregon, dude.
Right. Well,
like-
and that's the thing. Like I've talked about it on the podcast before. I'm pretty open. I don't like partake in the things that I used to when I was younger. But shrooms is something. Psilocybin is something that I've dabbled in, and it's something that. It's funny because I have a both sides of the coin mindset on it because I've actually experienced it. So like I've experienced I feel like the open like mindset and like seeing things that you've never seen before and having thoughts that you never thought, and I think feeling creative and things like that. But at the same time, I also look at it as when I listen to somebody on a Joe Rogan podcast, or I listen to somebody that's, that I've talked to personally, I'm like, you guys, we do realize that all the stuff we're seeing is because of the drugs we did. Like that's what's altered your mind to see it. And it doesn't necessarily mean that there's some like greater, like, plane out there or anything like that. That just might be like the chemicals in your brain are making you see something that wouldn't normally see without those chemicals in your brain.
There is a TV show on Vice that is called Hamilton's Pharmacopoeia, and the guy that hosts the show went on Joe Rogan's podcast, and he's some pharmaceutical chemist guy, and basically he travels the world and he finds these drugs and he finds experts in the drugs, and then he takes them back to the lab and he analyzes them and he tries all of them. And he did one with mushrooms, and he was with this really old dude out in the New Mexico desert in this old dude's shack, and the old guy's like got all these paintings of aliens and stuff that he sees when he's on the mushrooms, and talks about how it takes him to this fourth dimension where the secrets of the universe are unlocked, and it's like, no, you're hallucinating, man.
Have you ever heard of the stoned ape theory?
It's been talked about before. I don't know.
I'm not going to go into detail right now, but I mean, it's fascinating.
Basically, it's one of Joe Rogan's jokes from his latest stand-up special, which is, we used to be monkeys, we found mushrooms, and we stood up on our back legs, and now we're human.
Right.
But Terrence McKenna actually has a great.
Well, I listened to that one that you asked me to listen to about AI, and that just blew my mind.
That was fucking awesome.
Yeah, the one that was just
great.
like last week.
Yeah. That guy's super eccentric and just
his voice at first annoyed me, but then it was I was like, I like this.
He sounds like an old surfer dude or something.
I thought he sounded like a 19-year-old stoned kid from California,
which is a surfer dude. Basically the same thing. But my thing with what you guys are talking about hallucinating and stuff is how do we know what that really is? To us, that's a chemical reaction in our brain to this, but how do we not that's all we know about it, or how do we not know that isn't opening our mind to some other thing that we don't necessarily know about?
I don't know. So it's more just my personal experience.
So I get that it's easy to say that you have you see something and then you're like, oh, that was nuts, and then you start talking about it that guy's talking about aliens and there's paintings on the wall and stuff. But how do you not how do you know because we don't know,
because whenever he's doing the mushrooms, whenever he's not on the mushrooms, the aliens aren't there.
Yeah.
Well, it's the environment he's in too. He's kind of being.
But how do we not know that taking those things aren't a key to opening up some kind of different?
I mean, I guess we don't know for sure. It's just very highly improbable.
Well, and it's also maybe I just haven't exceeded the amount, but I've never actually not seen seen something that wasn't actually there. Like, I've just seen stuff look a little bit different.
I think that's just kind of myth. Like, maybe, I think that's kind of
like when people say they see like a little like troll running around.
And that might be one aspect of it, but then you have the aspect of like what Joe Rogan talks about when he takes DMT. He doesn't necessarily see things, but he has, his mind opens up to things that he is not able to open up to when he's not taking it.
And I also think that I feel like I'm very rooted in reality. So like I'm not there to experience stuff that I like.
It's like he's able to conceive more because he's taking.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, so this old guy that sees the aliens, he's going into it going, can't wait to see these aliens.
Can't wait to see these aliens.
And it's on obviously a television show that's showing different ends of the spectrum of taking taking those drugs. So like this one guy's gonna do like, oh fuck dude, I saw a bunch of aliens, and then this guy's gonna be like, well, it made me think about something and actually changed my life in this way, or like it, those kind of things. So
it's actually the greatest things I ever did. Saved me from like a huge depression.
There's a pretty sad episode on that one because the old guy ends up dying and like leaving all of his paintings to Hamilton.
It's wild.
It's pretty sad.
Well, maybe the aliens finally got him.
But there is like studies though about.
He's like, you outed us. Now we're gonna put cancer in your body.
Well, there's the what is it, the studies out about MDMA, like ecstasy, like helping people with, let me look it up.
Oh yeah, like microdosing acid, even microdosing psilocybin is shown to really decrease side effects and the progression of Alzheimer's disease.
Well, that's what Joe Rogan does, is he does microdoses of stuff, and like he's not like tripping balls to the point where, because a lot of people, they take drugs and they're just like, I'm gonna take a whole bunch and see what happens.
They don't understand moderation.
Well, yeah, they're just taking random amounts of drugs. But like when you're smart about it, you might actually have some benefits from.
And I think that is deeply rooted in the fact that the drugs are illegal. So it's like, oh, I finally got my hands on this. Better get my money's worth. You know?
Right. And if that's a good point. If it was legal, then you would just be.
It's kind of like high school kids going to a party and getting drunk. They don't just go.
I better get it all out right now this weekend, or I'm not going to be able to. Who knows? Next time I'll be able to drink 7 beers.
There's two conversations with this, with medicinal marijuana, legal marijuana, or with mushrooms. Right? There's a legality right now where we have prohibition, and basically we say you can't have this. You're not allowed to have it. And if you try to possess it, or grow it, or consume it, or get caught with it, we're going to send the cops after you. So you're creating violence or a potential for an issue, which puts police in harm's way. So we need to make a decision as a society: is do we really want to create conflict and put our police officers in harm's way for a plant, for something that is it really going to cause somebody extreme harm? Is it going to hurt somebody else? Is there going to be property damage? The answer to all of those things is probably no.
Do you also think it has anything to do with the fact that big businesses and whatnot can't profit as much off of mushrooms as they can weed? And
not necessarily, because I mean, you've already seen Philip Morris has I think they've invested like what, $2.3 billion in the legal marijuana industry.
Even the heir to Budweiser just invested in it.
I heard something.
So,
it might not have been real, but
there's a market for it for sure. So it's just the market's not there right now. And I don't think it would be lucrative for a business to actively fight against it, because they could end up making money.
It just seems weird that weed is such a it's taken so long, and then out of nowhere, mushrooms is like, we're in.
I think you're going to see a lot of this change over time as we keep putting boomers in the ground as they die off and they're not in charge anymore.
There's no love lost for the boomers over there, is there?
That was such a depressing. You're just like,
no, because I thought of a lot of things, because I actually have a lot of so I have tattoos, and I get a lot of shit from older people, and I'm waiting for all of them to die, so one day I can just finally do the scene from Avengers, and I'm Thanos, and I sit down on and I'm like, they're all dead. Finally, they're all fucking dead.
How are you going to get a job with all those tattoos? Same way I have one now, Barbara.
No, I told this. I used to be a server, just because I going to school, I need a small part-time job I'm talking to this guy, and he's like, yeah, you got a lot of tattoos. He's like, you're not going to be able to get rid of those. And I'm like, you're kidding me. And then the conversation went on.
The dude said this would wash off.
Yeah. And then the conversation goes on, and I was like, yeah, my dad has tattoos. My mom has tattoos. And, my dad's not a serial killer. My mom's not a clown. It's like, and I'm saying this to this guy, and he's getting like shitty to his family. But I'm saying it like really nice, so he can't really get mad. And I'm like, yeah, I think I'm going to be all right. And like, just kind of walked away. And I just don't like obviously I'm able to, there's that old way of thinking that comes into play with tattoos and a lot of other things like we're talking about right now. But
it's becoming more and more seldom, and I don't know if it's the crowd of people I'm hanging out with, and I've just been ruined by the libertarians and the free thinkers of the world or what. But, in the 90s when I was growing up, when I was a teenager, there wasn't this fear of people to say, well, what you're doing is wrong and you're going to go to hell, right? You're going to, total damnation's coming your way.
But I also,
a tattoo or you did whatever.
Feel like there's people that look at me and they're not necessarily going to say that to my face, like older people, but they're thinking like,
you can tell they're thinking
like, you're going to hell, dude.
Like, there's so many less of them now, I think. I really do think that the percentage of the population, they're there still, yeah, sure.
And I don't want to blame all my problems on Indiana, but there are some things about Indiana that we definitely do last, and there's a lot of countries that are so much more like.
We can just now buy alcohol on Sunday.
That's exactly
afternoon.
Yeah,
that's protectionism, right? We only want to pay for one shift of workers, and that's 12 to 8, and that's it.
And that's kind of my point. Is like I get that. I feel like I get that more here where I'm at. I live in a smaller town, like that kind of thing, and when I was serving, I was up on the north side in Carmel, like kind of hoity-toity. So that comes with the area or whatever.
Yeah, the geography of
But it just sucks. Like, you can't go in. It's just kind of like, if anybody should be mad about getting discriminated against, it's me.
Because you have a beard.
But I just...
Where's my tattoo reparations?
Yeah, I just kind of I tell them to fuck off, but not without saying fuck off. I just kind of am nice about it. I'm super nice about it, but make them kind of feel stupid for asking me. Like, why would you even ask me that? Like, if you don't like it, just don't say anything about it. It's my body, It's not like I'm covered either. Like, I'm not like, necktie up to my...
Yeah, and it's like, even if I was...
Exactly.
How do you care?
Exactly, yeah.
What do you think? What do you think is going to bother us? And we're going to be those people that they're waiting for us to die off.
Well, it's kind of
probably robots. We're going to be.
I think
we're
agree with
be
that.
Really upset with robots.
Dude, self-driving cars.
Those fucking robots. They think they know everything.
We used to have to vacuum our own floors.
AI, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And the robots, like my feet turn into a vacuum.
No, I think
there's going to be a problem whenever intelligence becomes so advanced that it's almost indiscernible between us and the artificial intelligence, to where we're just going to hate all of them. All of these robots.
I've already said, though, in my opinion, if there's anything that can, they can chop my leg off and give me a robot leg, I'm all in. Let's go.
It's hard for me to decipher sometimes whether I think something is bothering me just because I'm getting older, or I actually have a reason to be bothered by it.
Yeah, it's tough. You got to take a step back and go, okay, let me look at this objectively.
Because I'm like, mumble rappers are fucking stupid. Here's me when I'm 10 listening to Limp Bizkit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's...
is it one of those you didn't know any better? Right? Like, growing up, I grew up in Newcastle. We had I felt like I grew up in the 1940s. I had 3 channels.
That's how it's going to be.
In WMDH, right? In WIBC.
You did grow up in the 1940s.
We didn't have satellite because we were too cheap. We didn't have
I'm right there with
internet,
you, man.
Right?
They talk about Nickelodeon shows. I have no idea what they're talking about.
I had divorced parents. So I had my dad who had cable.
Same.
And then when I went over there, it was fucking Disneyland. And then when I went back to my mom's, it's fucking bunny ears and fucking the TV that's like...
Same.
Yeah, I mean,
don't churn that butter, Johnny. You're back home.
I was lucky to watch. I was looking forward to watching the Pacers on Channel 29 with barely tuning it in on.
My mom's like, go outside, and when the lights come on, come back inside. Lock the doors, and she would clean the house all day and just tell me to leave and like fuck off for all day long. And she would lock the doors, like lock me out of my own home, and then put like Kool-Aid on the porch and be like, "That's all you get." And like I could come in for lunch.
He's basically a straight cat when he was at his mom's.
My dad would assign me chores to do during while he was gone for the day. One time I built a pool deck. Whenever I was like 11.
What?
He showed me the night before. He's like, this is how you build the frame. And he's like, we need 12 of these built. I'm like,
damn.
I'm like, okay. So, like, I built all of them that day, and then that night, he's like, all right, well, let's put these up. So he installed all of them, and then he's like, all right, this is how you screw down the deck boards.
Your life,
valuable skill to learn, though.
Your life was way different than mine. My mom would have been like, build this deck, and I'd have been like it would have been like 10 a.m. and then 5 o'clock that evening, just like hitting one nail. I don't know what I'm doing. They showed me this once. I'm dyslexic. I don't know.
So, like I said, I mean, though, that's a very, like, Johnny made a good point. Like, that's a valuable skill to learn. I did a lot of the same stuff with my stepdad, but it wasn't like he showed me how to do anything. It was just all the manual labor. So like digging holes and like that kind of stuff. When he was gone, I was all in. Like he was all in on making me do that, but he wasn't going to show me how to put together like a wood frame or anything.
There was one time where I'd gotten really stuck on something. I couldn't figure out how to do it, and he wanted me to do it before he got home.
It was a complex miter.
Yeah.
So in my mind, it's like something really fucking cool. Like, I couldn't get the carburetor out. And I'm like, 10-year-old me is like writing chalk on the blacktop.
I can't remember what it was, but I went inside and I used the landline, and I called his work phone while I was at work, and I was like, hey, Dad, I can't figure out how to do this. And he's like, why are you calling me? I was like, because I can't figure it out. And he goes, you're supposed to just figure it out on your own.
Damn.
Okay.
Yeah, I've definitely been there.
Tough love right there.
Definitely been there.
It was like, hey, I figured it out, though.
I wonder what it was.
I can't remember.
If it was anything bigger than building the decks,
it had to
like
been
framing a deck.
I think we need to call Jeff Davis right now. Wake him up.
We need to figure out what it was. Hey, Dad, what did I call you about 12 years ago while you were at work?
He probably remembers it if it was only one thing.
If I called my dad right now, he'd answer the phone and go, what? And I'd be like, I'm on the Click. Or he'd just be like, fuck you, and hang up.
No, I think for sure I'm on the same page with you guys with the robots and AI. I think we're going to be like, we're gonna like expect our kids to do some of the stuff that we did, and they're gonna be like, no, I've got robot over here to do it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like it's kind of weird to think about that, because I think that AI and robots in that regard of just doing pretty much everything for us is going to be here before we're boomer aged.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Have you guys seen WALL-E?
Yeah,
it's gonna be us fat and fucking spaceships, just like sucking Slurpee. And
instead
like
of just delivery, they're bringing it and feeding it to us too. Like you order Chinese and the like thing rolls in, and
they just laid in chairs and watched TV and ate.
There are people that think that at some point work is gonna be obsolete, right? You're not gonna have to do a lot of the manual labor we do. And you're just going to get a check, and you're going to go consume, and machines are going to take care of it, and we're going to have checks to take care of.
That's freaky to think about, though.
I like to think that I would be the guy that continuously saved my check, and then was just out kind of living under my means a little bit, and then kind of like working out, doing that kind of thing. But then knowing myself, it would just go to
if
Burger
the
King.
history of the government giving people checks is any indicator. Those
I'm Bernie Sanders.
Those checks and trying to live underneath of that is going to be nearly impossible.
Yeah, good thing he's not our president. He'd just be like, here, have all this. You can have whatever the fuck you want. As far as I'm concerned, I'm going to die in 4 years.
Yes, like, and speaking of that kind of stuff, so who's like even coming up like to run against Trump for re-election? Do you guys know?
The Rock.
Yeah,
Kanye West, Oprah.
Kanye West he's not going to try to replace Trump. He's going to try to replace Mike Pence and get in the White House with Trump. They're real good friends, you know. He can't just oust his buddy like that.
So gay people would be safe again?
Yeah, for real. I think we go for it.
I'm not making the connection. Did I miss something?
Kanye West.
Well, I'm saying like gay people being safe again.
Kanye West really likes gay people?
I thought Mike Pence hated gay people.
Oh, yeah. That's seen now. Now it's coming out.
Sorry, Mike's been gone for a couple of years. We've forgotten. In the vice presidency, you don't remember.
Now the switchboard is actually functioning.
Mike Pence hates a lot of things. He won't eat dinner with another woman unless his wife is there.
Yeah, but the last couple of years have taught us that's not the worst solution in the world. Zero controversies for Mike Pence.
Damn, Mike Pence can see the future.
It's hard to be a controversy when you have that guy ahead of you, above you, that's just doing all kinds of crazy crazy shit.
Yeah.
That's like, he's like, I can do whatever I want because this
Like,
guy's.
oh yeah, Mike Pence is there too. Like, forgot about him.
All right. I don't got anything else. So I think we've had a great conversation. We've touched on so many different topics. We figured out that you guys are not a fan of the Marvel comics.
We're going to keep bringing that up.
Comic book movies. But we all, I think we all kind of agree on the offensive things. I think we can tell PETA to fuck off.
Not the bread, though.
What's the bread thing? Time out.
Pita bread.
Pita bread.
The pocket.
Yeah,
I mean, it's one of the
I
best.
won't go to the pita pit. It's I've got to protest.
Dude,
They got one at Ball State, and I refuse to.
Hey,
go.
man,
Pita pit's good.
Pita and hummus.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
I'll go to Jimmy John's across the street.
That was like, I mean, I would go to both in the same day. Like,
Really?
I'd be like, I'm going to stop at lunch, Jimmy John's, and then dinner's going to be Pita Pit.
Where's
Damn,
where's
you
this
were
at?
rich, bro.
in Muncie.
Village.
You were rich, bro.
If you're rich, you go to Scotty's.
Exactly. And I also worked at B-Dubs, and I never cut anybody
Hey,
off.
man, Pizza King for life.
I wonder if he like took her parking space as she was late for work and trying to pull in. She's like, I'm gonna fucking get him.
Now, when you worked at B-Dubs, was it still on campus,
Nope.
or was it up
It
in the
was
north
the
side
one by
already?
the mall.
The new
It was
one.
lame.
Yeah.
Did you ever cut off a couple 30-year-olds for just having a good time?
I never cut off anybody.
Yeah, I don't
And
understand.
Actually,
What the
I attempted to overserve people because I felt like it would give me more money.
Oh, I know.
Wow.
I know what it was.
I can't wait until there's like security cam footage of you guys sitting at B-Dubs, and it's you in front of the manager going, "Hey, I'm only have like 4."
No, it's actually the time where I just like, excuse me, miss. And she leaned down. I said, fuck you.
Wait a minute. Let's ask the question this way. You got cut off today.
Yeah.
Was your bill under $50?
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah, it was.
It's impossible.
And we ate.
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
Yeah. I never cut off anybody. I enjoyed the people drinking heavily.
Why don't you kids get a little more drunk? Paid you some extra money.
You know what?
That's definitely not my voice.
Another thing I can think of is the bar in Greenfield called Snappers actually got into a lot of trouble, I think, once or twice. And for sure one time.
It was Rosedon.
Yeah, but somebody drove home and got really fucked up and maybe even died. Or
2 people have.
Yeah, so, and they overserved those people and maybe they were worried about it. I don't know.
Right.
You just need to go to the Wooden Bear and then order a takeout and bring it in.
Dude,
and
I've
drink
drank like 7 or 8 beers, 9 beers, 10 beers at the Wooden Bear, and no one said a fucking word to me.
We went to Grigsby's Friday. That place, fire.
It is good.
Yeah, it's super expensive.
I do like Grigsby's.
Yeah, but the quality of food is.
Oh, I didn't get food.
It's artisanally grown pork belly that's been humanely
We didn't either.
slaughtered.
We got dessert, but you know
They're definitely building that area up.
But you got to think that they're bringing something like craft beer, like really good, like Gumball Head and whatnot, all the way from Munster, Indiana to Greenfield, which you can't get Gumball Head anywhere else in Greenfield. Sorry, that
Montana Mike's again.
you can get Gumball Head at Montana.
Yeah, we
Mike's.
had it there when I was working there.
Yeah, and you can get it WeMac at Montana Mike's. Montana Mike's got
WeMac
good
is so
selection, dude.
lame though. Sun King WeMac.
WeMac is a
This dude's
classic
getting so
good
old,
beer.
man. All these fucking damn kids and their lame ass.
Now listen, I go to B-Dubs and the beer of the month is Bud Light, so I can't.
No, I mean, yeah. It's definitely better than Bud Light. But I don't know. I worked at a brew house, so I feel like just WeMac's been around forever, and it's good. It's all right.
I don't think it's that good.
Okay.
It's overrated.
Well, I was trying to be nice, but
No, that's a good beer.
It's overrated.
was the big guy on your podcast was drinking that, right?
Yeah,
if I remember.
Yeah, Cade.
We've done 90
bring
of
like
these
5s.
Well,
I did see him drinking those, so they are decent. I like them. I've gotten drunk off them, or I've drank them, or whatever, So,
Yeah.
But
I'm
I'm
picking
just
up what
saying
you're
that Grigsby is bringing in a lot of breweries that no one's even heard of, like Tin Man, like places like that, and bringing it all the way from downtown Indy into Greenfield, and then
all the way.
And then that is far.
10 miles.
Probably cost them a lot of money to also buy those cakes, because if you buy like a keg of Gumball Head is pretty expensive.
Yep.
Expensive enough for a place like Scotty's Brewhouse when I worked there to not carry it for long enough. And then they also sell classy drinks, which I know people get shitty when you charge them $10 or $11 for a drink, like an old fashioned or something. But if it's like Woodford or those kind of things, it's going to cost that much, I think. So I think their drinks and their beer are great. Their food is, I know you said you didn't have it.
Yeah.
But
Whenever we were there, we were sitting at the bar, and somebody down the bar ordered a margarita with egg white, and the bartender started making it, and the manager came in. He was an older gentleman. He's like, what are you making with egg white? And she's like, It's a egg white.
I've had one before.
She's like, it's an egg white margarita. He's like, that's disgusting. And she goes, it's a $16 drink. And he goes, oh, sweet.
Honestly, so have any of you guys ever been to Hotel Tango?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Love that place.
And they make those kind of drinks there, and that place is the atmosphere.
I feel bad that the cat died.
Oh no, it didn't.
It jumped.
Okay, so me and my ex-girlfriend went
from the fucking
no, it really didn't. It
from
fell
the spiral stairs
off the roof.
Off the roof.
Oh my
died.
god!
Oh, you're serious?
Yeah, I'm not.
No, dead ass serious, man.
Dude, I love that.
And to God, it didn't make it.
And then and one time a guy was
It's
telling
still
me.
landed on its feet though, but its feet went through
Actually, oh god damn!
So one,
Jesus, man.
Too soon, Juice.
so
That cat was the shit, man.
yeah, Ethan Rogers worked there.
Did he?
That's
not yet.
He's a mixologist of sorts.
I was just going for the low hanging fruit. I apologize.
But anyways, that place is actually really
man.
cool,
Well, if he could have hung on a little longer, he'd still be alive.
and they make what you like egg white drinks, and they're actually like they make them like kind of frothy and the
Yeah, I've had them. They're actually really good.
It's good. I don't
Like a meringue top on top of theirs.
She just so happened to have a little bit extra in the mixing glass.
let you try it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Good.
Yeah.
How's the salmonella?
It's
This
all
girl
right.
I dated took
got
me
over
there,
it today.
and she was like, "You need to try this $16 drink with rose petals in it." And I was like, "You're fucking stupid."
My problem
We're
is-
breaking up right now, and I took a drink of it, and I was
I
like,
went
"Can I have
to-
2 of those, please?"
Yeah, they're so good.
I went to the West Fork Whiskey place or West Fork Distillery or something like that downtown for the office trivia night. And what I noticed was
You didn't invite me.
Yeah,
Dude.
thanks, bro.
It was on a Tuesday, so I
would've been
figured,
like-
Jane, I figured you were working like 19 hours and then going to school.
I've
too,
been like,
so.
fuck you, airplanes. I'm going to play Office.
But we came in second.
Well, you would have came in first if you had the
And,
other.
and it was just 2 of us against 2 of us, so it was a pretty good.
I've
pretty
actually
good showing.
just
What kind of questions are we talking? How deep in trivia do we have to go to compete?
So the frustrating thing was they asked a question.
What are Pam's nipple circumference?
No, they asked.
God, you gotta go no math.
7
Oh, we're
centimeters.
screwed.
Okay, the radius.
Okay, that's right.
They asked
7 centimeters dilated.
they asked one of the women on the show. Her sister became a writer for The Office, and then also she wrote for other shows like Nathan For You and things like that on Comedy Central. So to me, that's a bad question to ask because me watching the show gives me no information about that.
Right.
So that was one that I didn't like. And then another one was it listed 4 Office characters, and you had to guess. This was the final question. You could bet points on this. 4 Office characters and their middle names. So it was Oscar Martinez, Angela, Ryan, Howard, and then
Their last names or middle names?
middle names.
Good
so,
God.
So it was like a name. And so the problem was we were down 14 points to the number 1 team.
So did you just not bet anything?
Well, no, we were down 14 points, so we had to bet something because since they were up 14,
But couldn't they bet too much
they
to
didn't
go below you?
Well, they didn't. So me and the guy were making our plans, and we were like,
They could bet 0.
They
probably
don't have to
just
bet
bet.
anything because what if they don't know? They could bet 0. So our only option is to bet at least 14 points because then we get at least tie, or they could bet some and then lose, whatever, that kind of thing. They didn't bet anything because they didn't know the answer either. So we ended up losing to a team, and we ended up getting like second or third actually because we bet points because the top 2 teams didn't bet anything and they just stayed where they were at points wise.
So let's. This is an interesting question that just came to mind. If we go around the room, TV show, sitcom, whatever, like if you're gonna go do trivia, what's your number 1 go-to show? Is it The Office, or what's your go-to? It doesn't have to be on the air anymore, obviously. But
for me, it's between South Park and The Office because those are the 2 series that I've rewatched and watched multiple times.
Yeah.
So I would definitely go with South Park.
South Park and Scrubs for me.
Ooh, Scrubs is a good one, but I don't
Dude,
think. But
I've
there's so
rewatched
many like small jokes that I think I wouldn't get in a trivia.
Do you think what I think I would be good at that not a lot of people are good at is Blue Mountain State?
Oh,
I'm in on that.
I just posted about that actually.
I saw
it's got to be Netflix. It's got to be something on Netflix where people like the mass
Friends,
community.
but I feel like I've watched the same few seasons of Friends.
The key
so
to
much.
winning this, I think, is watching something that is not as popular as Friends, because so many people know about Friends. So if you can really hone in on like a TV show that's good still, but you know a lot about that not a lot of people know about, then that's how you win this.
But it also has to be kind of a cult hit because they're not going to do a trivia on Bones,
on something nobody's seen. So Dakota, the question is
Bones.
What show would you be like the Category 5 super fan of that you could go do trivia? What's your wheelhouse?
What do you think you'd be a MVP on your team?
I could be The Walking Dead.
There's a couple of them. I could do
The Walking Dead's good too.
I could do Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
American Dad.
Oh, I like American Dad.
He loves American Dad.
Big fan.
I'm huge.
Somebody called me out on it. It's just like Family Guy. I'm like, no, it's not.
No, it's totally different. I'm not that big of a Family Guy fan, but I love
American
I'd
Dad.
be good at Bob's Burgers too.
I love Bob's Burgers.
I've seen every single one of those.
So that's just an interesting thing just now. We're all roughly around the same age, and we all really like adult comedy animated shows.
See, my thing is, I've seen
shows.
I think more series than most people. Like I've seen everything from True Blood.
You don't know me. TV is my life.
He got so quiet.
You don't know me. That's my purse. I don't know you.
I don't want your life.
I was getting ready to do the same thing. Beat me to it.
No, but I just think that I've seen. I don't know. Everyone likes to think they're the best.
But you said True Blood, man. I've seen that too.
But everything from that, that's such a random thing, all the way to Bob's Burgers. I've seen. I like my wheelhouse is a big wheelhouse. I like a lot of different shows.
Seen a lot of stuff, man.
I don't know what you said.
Yeah, I mean, Parks and Rec, big for me.
Yeah,
I love
Parks and Rec is great.
West Wing, Aaron Sorkin, his stuff, which is a little bit more of a drama, but
West Wing is
cerebral
West
show.
Wing is interesting.
It's good.
But there's a podcast, West Wing Weekly. A lot of our listeners listen to that too, and it's a.
Which is weird.
There's a cult following, right?
I don't know a fucking thing about West Wing.
Podcast centered around.
I know it's part of the White House.
Weird to me.
They just sit there, they sit there and profile a damn show. 7 seasons of it times 22.
Right.
Isn't there a Baldwin on it?
No.
Oh, no Baldwins.
Oz was great too.
There was Oz. Man, how old are you?
Me? I'm 43.
Oz?
No, you're not.
No, I'm not. I'm 29. But
17.
I watch a lot of shows because my wheelhouse is huge.
You guys ever watch The O Word?
No, I don't even know what that is.
Anybody know what that is?
No.
It's about gay.
No, I have literally zero idea.
Yeah, it's on HBO. It's about.
I wonder if
There's a
Kevin
lot of
Hart watched
people
it.
running.
So my fault might be that I've watched too many series to the point where I don't know enough about any one because I've been spending time watching too many of them.
Your brain is stuffed with a bunch of
Daredevil,
different stuff.
Punisher, anything. I've seen so many. I'm always looking for that new series to watch.
You like the crackhead
Game of
Netflix
Thrones
series? The series is over.
I really am.
Handmaid's Tale is another really good one.
Which one?
The Handmaid's Tale.
I watched that involuntarily.
You know who likes that? My girlfriend.
But I ended up liking it. My wife was watching it, and I was like, it's one of those things. A lot of the times, I'll roll in on my wife watching something and be like, "What is this stupid shit that you're watching?"
You know what?
Can we watch it tomorrow?
Then 10 minutes later, I'm like, "So who's that?
All right.
What's going on with that person?"
This is one more good final one for Hostage Situation, the show you've been forced to watch that you never would have, but you've watched an insane amount.
90210, the new one,
The Bachelor.
and I loved it. Every minute of it.
Dude, I will get I'll be like, fuck The Bachelor, and then we'll start watching. And I'll be like, babe, who's that guy?
Is that Aaron Rodgers' brother?
And I'm like, I don't care, but I fucking hope he doesn't get a rose.
So I'm going to go old school with that because I actually broke up with a girl in high school because she would force us to watch American Idol.
Oh my god!
Yeah, that's why I broke up with her.
No, that's legit the only reason.
Probably
she was hot.
never
She was
seen an episode.
Fun to hang out with, and but her and her family had to watch American Idol.
That and the herpes.
American Idol and Survivor.
I could look past that.
Oh my god!
I'm going pretty close to you. My wife loves The Voice.
Ugh.
And I can't stand
gross.
it. I cannot stand Kelly Clarkson.
Oh,
She's
I'm
one
gonna
of
push
the
the
worst
button.
human beings.
I'm gonna push the button. No, I'm not. I'm just kidding. I'm gonna push it. That's all it is. I'm gonna push it. No.
It's
Okay.
such a horrible
that's
TV
what it
show.
is. Fuck that, dude.
What about you guys?
Oh god, I've seen so many episodes of the stupid British baking show or whatever the hell that is.
Oh my god.
Oh, I just thought of it. Have
you seen Nailed It? Have you seen Nailed It?
Downton Abbey is what I've been forced to watch. Downton Abbey.
Dude, I thought I was gonna hate this show called Nailed It. It's where people that
That's good.
Yeah, people make cakes and they don't know anything about making cakes, and then there's just like this like spicy black woman on there. She kind of like, I was like, I hate her at the beginning. I'm like, nah, I fucking really like her. And then they make cakes and they look like, because they show
spicy black woman. I just want to take that.
Nutmeg. It was definitely nutmeg.
But they're supposed to look all like, they show you how the cake's supposed to look, and then they like show what they make, and it looks like shit. And there's this like random funny.
They give them like comments like, this is actually very soft icing that you've made.
Yeah, but it's so funny to like, because they'll put up a picture of the how it's supposed to be, and then they're getting ready to show and they're like, ta-da, and it just looks so fucking bad. And it just looks like a blob of
what. It's not even like pros that they're getting. They're getting people to bake in their spare
time. It's like,
time.
this is what your cake would look like, minus some chromosomes. Like,
let me say something real quick. Shane has gone at black people.
What did I go at black people about?
Just we'll rewind it.
Black Panther's not that good.
Lesbians and the LGBTQ community, and now the missing chromosomes community.
This has been a career-ending night.
You can't really take all that out of context.
No, this is a high water moment.
You would have been fine if you just had the tattoos.
I know, right?
Tattoos.
Well, as soon as I start getting shit for this, I'm like, you're just giving me shit because I have tattoos.
Well, we've been watching. I actually did get into this one a little bit. There was a stupid one.
Hey, you all laughed also.
just at your career ending.
1,000%.
There was like a holiday bake-off challenge or something, and I got furious at the judges. I'm like, you people need to make it your damn self then, because if you think that was a problem, I was like.
Then you
I was emotionally invested. I was emotionally invested.
Reassess your life. Like,
yes,
well, I'm getting mad over.
I need to go feed the dog. I gotta go.
I'm mad over cakes right now.
It's like, you have too high of standards. You know you ate it and liked it,
dude. That's the way it is with The Bachelor. Like, I don't know if you guys like. You don't have to admit it, but it's just like she makes me watch it, and it's like there's always that guy that like is like, I want attention, so I'm gonna do crazy shit, and then you can like spot him a mile away. Like, that guy doesn't love her. He just wants the limelight. He's trying to be the next Bachelor. Fuck that guy.
Why'd you point at me, dog?
He's just trying to get clicks. He's trying to get clicks. He's trying to become famous, just like everybody else on the show.
Yeah, and then you find out he's like dating a girl while he went on the show.
And then they bring the girl on the show.
He knows. They bring the girl, and he's like, what the fuck, Derek? We've been dating for 6 months.
I'm not admitting that I've watched any of those. I'm just understanding the formula.
Well, you knew that they took it. That's exactly their next step.
The formula.
The only time I'm ever watching one of those reality shows is if somebody in my sphere of people I follow ends up on it, like when Connor Daly or Alex Rossi was Amazing Race, or James Hinchcliffe or Elio Castroneves is on Dancing with the Stars. But there's a theme here. Or
have you guys had Connor? Have you guys had Connor on?
Not yet. We've had one of his sponsors on. We had Jack's Donuts. Lee Markham was on the show. He was on. We've had a photographer from the 8500, Mike McCown was on. He was cool. So we have not had Connor on yet.
But yeah, you can hear.
I think I'm going to go for the shoot for the moon though, and ask. Alex Rossi lives in town, and he's got his own podcast. So I think I'm just going to go. What the hell? We'll call Alex Rossi, and Dakota's going to be like, "Who the hell is this?" I said, "No, really, it's going to be a big deal."
I got a friend. I got a friend that does. I'm trying to think of it so I don't like call him out, because he probably doesn't want to be named on the podcast, but he does like interior stuff for houses, like basically like home improvement type stuff. And he has done like a lot of those IndyCar drivers in downtown, and like he's taken like pictures that he's allowed to take, because they're pictures of like his work he's done. So like the company like is okay with him doing that, and he'll like show them to me, and he's like, well, this picture I wasn't actually supposed to take, but I did it anyways, because like look at this giant like whatever, like giant fireplace with like all kinds of cool stuff around it. And I'm like, that's crazy that those guys have that kind of income, and like not all of them win races all the time.
What was that ringtone?
Yeah, I was curious about that too.
It was.
Was that Mrs.
It wasn't a ringtone. It was part of a radio that I was trying to find. there's this lady, and her name is Abby the Spoon Lady. And okay,
all right,
I'm intrigued already.
Yeah,
Marty, sorry I asked.
And I found her because of a Washington Post article that they ran
Rabbit
about
hole.
her, and she was this homeless lady in Nashville until some up and coming artist found her, and she's like playing the spoons on a street corner. And he invited her to one of her shows, and then she put a video of them two playing together on YouTube, and it's got over like 11 million views.
Who was the person she played with?
I can't remember. Hold on. It's up on my phone since I just played it. Chris Rodriguez.
Oh, I don't know who that is.
Yeah, that's his name.
World famous.
Yeah. And this
So
video,
what happened from her playing the spoons with him?
Oh, they're YouTube famous now.
Oh, cool.
Man, I wish I could be YouTube famous.
Just like all of us, yeah.
So it's like I had to listen to him on the way here.
You guys think it's safe to say that I can't run for anything ever because of the things I've said?
I mean, it's all 100%. I mean, I'm going to be honest. If you write a big enough check, I'll run your campaign.
I know, but this is going to be like commercial after commercial of me saying
it's out there.
Black Panther. You know what I mean?
Have you guys ever seen the L word?
I'm 35 and I've already lost 3 campaigns. So it's what do you want? What do you expect out of life?
So what's the all right?
I try to tell Jesse Riddle if he just campaigned as the Riddler, it would be a lot more successful.
He just brings like letters to people.
No, it's just like fucking riddles. Like riddle me this, riddle me that.
Jesse runs for office, but he keeps it a secret to the voters. So
the opposite of running for the office.
Yes.
All right.
He still pulls like 7% of the vote, and he doesn't put out yard signs or knock on doors.
That's a crazy thing, right?
Yeah.
That amount.
He's like, I am what I am.
Can you imagine if he was likable?
Jesse, we like you, or at least I do.
Yeah, he's something.
That's truly one of my best friends, honestly.
He is a good dude. I like his honesty. It's my favorite thing about him.
I've never heard Jesse sugarcoat a damn thing.
No, we actually had this conversation last night. I was like, I can be really like put in this corner as like you're a dick, but I'm like really I'm just being honest with everybody, and sometimes that makes like I'm a dick because I don't tell you like you how's this look on me, and I'm like it looks all right. But, like, that kind of shit gets me in trouble my whole life when you should have said something looks good when it doesn't. But
are you trying to look like a strangled sausage or
strangled sausage?
That was
on
good.
The next episode.
Like I used to tell people at work there.
Next episode of Girth.
Call back.
That was a good one.
Episode 3, the strangled sausage.
I used to strangle.
Not the kielbasa.
Hey, name one more sausage.
Polish.
Oh, that's just a place.
Well, they're pretty easy to invade.
Okay, anyway, Poland.
Bad joke.
But I used to work somewhere, and they would be like, "How am I doing?" I'm like, "Well, you're not very good, but you'll get better." Like that kind of stuff gets seen as being a dick, but I really meant like you're not very good at your job right now, but I could see you getting better. So we were kind of talking last night about how like being a dick is, just like at least you're being honest and not sugarcoating.
It's a lost art.
I just can't bring it to myself to be like to lie to people, or say things that aren't true.
100%.
Anybody else? Nope.
We're confessing to lying. It just got awkward and quiet in here.
I can't do that because my wife asked me a lot, and the thing is like, hey, what do you think about this? And I always say it looks great because really, truly, in my opinion, I don't care. Like, I don't care. Like, as long as she's trying to look good, I know that she looks better than what, like, my opinion of what looks good. I'm trying to explain this in a good way.
It's a good thing she doesn't watch shows.
So, because women, like, they know what they're putting on and they know, like, they're trying. Whereas opposed to, like, I don't really try. I have, like, 3 or 4 things that I know looks good on me. And I'm like, that's what I'm going to wear. I'm not going to, like, try to put something together because I'm going out to see friends. Like, I'm wearing the same thing. So, but whenever she puts something together, I'm like, it looks great because it looks good. Like,
because hell if I know.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
And she's like, you always say that. And I'm like, well, what do you want me to say? It looks awful?
You always look good, babe.
My girlfriend has told me I wish she would lie to me before. Like, why can't you just lie sometimes?
We got into this typecasting thing on our own damn show where I wore we all wore these flannel shirts in the wintertime. And now I just wear them. It's almost a part of the attire, right? Like, I don't know what looks good, but we on this show, often 3 or 4 of the people on the show are wearing a stupid ass flannel shirt.
So now I just go to Rural King and try to.
I missed the memo.
That's still a thing. Oh man!
If I could wear any shirt for the rest of my life, it'd be a flannel.
Yeah,
I wear to work
they're
every day.
comfortable, and I don't care. But yeah, honestly, like I go through Rural King like once a month. I'm like, God damn it, I've been wearing the same one for three out of the 4 weeks. So I guess we need a green one now.
Get a different one.
You guys know that he gets his clothes at Rural King?
No, that doesn't bother me at all.
Rural King, Walmart. I mean,
work.
Hell, we're from Newcastle. It's not like you're going. Where are you going to go? Goodies.
I have a flannel jacket that my wife bought at Kroger, and it's one of my favorite jackets.
Did you know that Eddie Vedder invented the flannel?
What?
And most
not true at all. Sounds cool though.
I thought it was the brawny man. I've been lied to my whole life.
The brawny man.
All right. Sorry, I just I get text through my computer, and anyways, yeah.
Justin, I'm hungry.
This is why wrap it up.
No, it's
Get rid of the strangers.
It's another weak person that I'm tired of dealing with.
Damn.
Oh shit!
Let's name names.
There's nothing worse than calling someone weak.
Yeah.
Low energy.
You're weak. You're weak, and I'm tired of you.
So I'm just going to go out there and say it. I'm not going to actually call anybody out by name, but I'm tired of, I'm sick, I can't come to work today. All right. So my thing is, I've worked, I've actually had a career for about 8 years now, and I think I've never actually missed a day that I didn't cause the sickness myself by being hungover or something and calling in and be like, I'm probably not going to make it today. But that was 5 or 6 years ago, and I haven't missed a day for being sick since probably the time I've started working in a career. And
so you're one of those that gets everybody sick.
No, I just don't really get sick. Can
I tell you the opposite end of the story? So this past week on Thursday, I went to work and just started feeling kind of shitty, and I was a little pukey. And then I went and I was like, I'm going to go home. So I was that guy.
Yeah.
And I got on the bus, it takes me from FedEx to my car, and I was going,
that sounds awful.
Threw up in my mouth in the bus just before we were getting off the thing. I just walked off the bus. I walked off the bus with puke in my mouth and had I was carrying a jacket. I had it up on my face, and everyone's kind of looking at me like, "What the fuck is this guy doing?"
No wonder they're afraid to serve you more than 4 people.
So
you're throwing up at work. Dead sober.
So my daughter had been to daycare and got she was puking a couple days ago. So I clearly got that, and then I got off the bus. I puked. So I go to my car and I'm driving home, and I'm like, I gotta puke again. So I'm about 3 miles away from my house. I puked all over myself 4 times.
Oh no!
You didn't open the door?
I've done this twice.
I'm in traffic, driving.
I would still open the fucking door.
I can't. Okay, so I can't just there's cars behind me, cars in front of me, and I was actually at a light, and the light was green, so I stepped out, puked, and then as the light turned green, I was like, fuck. So I closed my door, started driving, and it hit me real hard, real fast, and I was like, this is all.
So you got hit with something.
So I was sick as fuck, and then I puked all over myself, went home, had the chills, was achy, slept in the bathroom, on the bathroom floor, puked all night long.
So I would accept you calling in.
I've done this twice in my life where I've gotten a company car. I'm a traveling salesman. I've had a company car, and I get migraines driving down the road, and you get nauseous and motion sickness or whatever, and you don't have a good spot to pull over. I crossed the railroad tracks north of Newcastle one time driving to Muncie. Hit the railroad tracks, projectile vomited in the car.
Oh my God.
At speed.
Next topic.
So that was the first company car. That when I finally get rid of it, thank God, I'm rid of the vomit car. 2,000 miles on the next car. I'm driving back from Indy, heading back home on I-70, at Post Road. Same thing happens.
Oh my God.
Well, that was
so rough.
That was me 2 days ago cleaning said puke out of my car, and it had gone down the sides of my pants and into the creases of my seat.
It is horrifying.
And then I was so sick that I just went inside. I'm like, I'm not going to clean my fucking car because I'm puking everywhere. So I went and slept, woke up the next morning, was still puking, and I had to go clean my car out, and there's just frozen chunks of puke all over my car. And literally, the best way to get them out was like I took a knife and like hit them, and they just came off in chunks.
That's probably easy to clean up.
Do you a favor.
I'm sorry if anybody stayed with the podcast this long. If you were waiting for the good stuff, you got puke talk.
No, my thing is I know these people aren't actually as sick as they say they are. That they're sick all the time. And it's what I've said to Shane before, which Shane has disagreed with me, but I still say it. If you have the mindset that you're going to get sick, you're going to get sick way more than somebody like myself who thinks I'm never going to get sick because I don't ever get sick. So I literally cannot tell you the last time I was sick to the point where I threw up.
I don't remember disagreeing with this.
Well, it's because I've told you, like, I have the mindset of the Looney Tunes character where if you walk off the edge of the cliff and you don't look around,
you're not going to fall.
You're not going to fall, but as soon as you look around, you're going to fall.
Yeah, I
Whereas
keep
have
the
that
same mindset because I'd never get sick. But then there's like the times where you wake up and you are sick and like you're about to throw up and you're just going, nope, I'm not sick. I'm not sick. And then you go and you puke and you're like, that was just a one-time thing.
Well, I knew it was coming because my daughter was sick and me and my girlfriend were both like, we're not.
Yeah, and I don't have kids.
I'm not
I
fucking
heard
with
they're
that.
like germ factories.
Yeah, they go to the germ factory every day. Like, well, they're going to daycare. That's the germ factory. And they all just hang out with a bunch of nasty kids together, like, picking each other. Let me put this booger in your mouth. Like, and then like feeding each other boogers all day. And then they come home and they're like, hey, daddy. And then he touches my face. And then next thing you know, I'm holding in puke in front of a whole bus full of people at FedEx.
All right, we've reached 2 hours, so I want you guys to tell us exactly where everybody can find Boss Hog of Liberty, and then I'll give a couple things and we'll get out of here.
Yeah, so BossHogOfLiberty.com, Facebook.com/BossHogOfLiberty. Like we said, we are a weekly podcast, usually Thursday nights. Follow me, Jeremiah Morrill, Jeremiah at BossHogOfLiberty.com, Facebook, Jeremiah Morrill. Dakota, you've got all your digits as well.
Yeah, you can find me at Facebook. You can find me at Instagram at Real Dakota Davis. And then on Twitter at Atokad Savad, which is Dakota Davis spelled backwards.
I love that.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds good. So I've been into like really nerdy like fantasy games my whole life, and Atokad Savad's always been the greatest character name.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
I'm Jeremiah Morrill. I just got it the forward way on Twitter, so just find at Jeremiah Morrill.
But we have a really good video out on Facebook right now, which is our last guest, Logan Cook, talking about infiltrating a group of psychics on Facebook.
Yeah, I was going to watch that, but like you guys are getting ready to get here. So.
I feel like everyone in the room is just spelling their name backwards right now.
I've been.
Does it sound cool?
But Logan Cook, he's a local comedian. He came on and he talked about this. He told us.
I'm a Larome, but I don't know what the first name is.
Larome.
It's very French.
Larome.
Man, that's a French ass name, Larome. All right, sorry.
But yeah, Logan came on. He told us this story about infiltrating a group of psychics. It's like a 10-minute long video, and it's hilarious. Everybody should go check it out.
I do want to say thank you very much for inviting us on.
Hey, thanks for coming on.
It's awkward as hell not having a board to run and not knowing what to do with my hands.
Yeah.
Being a guest on somebody else's show, we do our own every time, but I have no idea what to do as a guest. And it's been fun trying to.
I've just been pretending to mess with the live stream.
No, I appreciate you guys coming on. It's something that we've talked about with a lot of the people here in Indianapolis is we want to connect with everybody because the more that we work together, obviously the better product that we can all create. And I think, man, pooling resources sounds really good when all of my stuff is hodgepodge put togetger and donated. So.
I picked a fake fight with Justin about 3 months ago, and because I think you had like 20 more Facebook likes than we did, and then something happened, and we've far past you now. We're like 100 out ahead now.
Whatever. Yeah, I'll get 100 tomorrow.
We're doing very well in that department. Thank you. So anyway, but obviously, really appreciate your show. I'll give the pitch for you.
Right.
You guys are taking money monthly, and I signed up yesterday or the day before. Bought my way on the damn show, I think is what happened.
It's anchor.fm/juiceintheam.
Yep, and then we have a monthly Patreon as well, patreon.com/BossHogOfLiberty. That we have an actual studio downtown Newcastle, which it's wintertime, and we have to pay for a damn heat bill now. So anybody that wants to kick in on that, it's amazing. Really do appreciate our monthly contributors as well.
Yeah,
and now it's not in our spare bedrooms.
Our bill last month was the exact same that we brought in. So
That's well, hey, you're at least breaking even right there.
yeah,
Netting out.
I've never broken even with this podcast from the beginning. So, but hopefully with this Anchor FM, it's going to start going in the other way and then going the other direction. And then also we're selling merch on teespring.com/juiceintheam as well. So I want everybody to go follow them, Boss Hog of Liberty. Go to Facebook. They're a great group of guys. Hopefully they're going to have Shane and I and potentially Johnny on their podcast soon. And once again, thank you for joining the podcast and hope it was a good show.
And hopefully the juice is worth the squeeze.
Boom. Peace, guys.